Yeah, it's Mr. Fuck You once again. To all you suckers, cog lickers, trying to stop us in this. This is to prove and show the power of reality. I defeat the new world order, my firepower's in order with knowledge to bless facts with this real life tracks impact like sledgehammers in your facial. It's not racial, my rhymes and styles will displace you. I'm for the human race, loading AR-15s with rhyme style. Gotta leave your fucking head disgraced, send you Northern General for that. You twat, you fucked around with the real shit and got smacked. I impact like a claymore mine. I'll drop lyrics that are too well defined. That this is freestyle, I'll leave you cats well behind. If you fuck around with this, then I'll blow your mind. I specialize like a nuclear physicist, dropping specialists like fission. I implode on this. Motherfuckers don't know the real life shit, so you best to listen up, cause I improvise this. This is freestyle, not written. You'll get smitten, and any faggot twat that wanna try and bitten, I leave you motherfuckers looking soft like a kitten, and represent for RT shit when I'm spitting. We do this to the death of this. Roll shots like Fidel Castro or Che Guevara if we have to. We'll smash you. You motherfuckers fucking Gestapo. You'll get clapped though with rhymes that I rip though. Pulling out blocks with rhymes that'll shock. You motherfuckers get shocked when the rhymes pop up. You motherfuckers trying to fuck my shit. You know, trying to mess with it. You're trying to mess with my equipment. My style is omnipotent with lyrics coming through deadly. You know the rhyme style that I come through. This lyricals will come true. What you gonna do? I'm smooth like butter. You motherfuckers get gutted with rhymes coming through like a Molotov cocktail. You motherfuckers off the rails. You fail. You know the order's dead in the water. You're too stale. I come through. I do what I've gotta do. And any motherfucker hating on RT and this, fuck you. Cause you ain't understanding what we're trying to speak about. We live in hell on earth. Motherfuckers read us out, see us out. This is the truth of what we're spitting. We tell you motherfuckers the truth with every written, and this is all written from God's sacred seal. We're coming through and burn the new world order with the fire. You know we come divine with this. The specialist, listen to how I spit. The motherfuckers know this. I'll cut back and slide back like a Glock 18. You motherfuckers know I come through like a machine, like a Sherman tank. We armored up, fucked up. Fuck around with this, you get your head fucking done. It's the specializer, the energizer, the terrorizer, the improviser, the microphone mechanicizer. Cut you like a Kaiser.
Testing.
Yeah, I can.
You can hear me clear,
Jay? Yeah. How's it going? Is it got it working or?
Alright, yo. This is RTTI in New York City, alongside my brother from another mother, Night of Thunder from the UK, England. And here we are on a Sunday. Wanna first and foremost give a shout out to all the mothers out there. It's Mother's Day over here in the US. To all the female TI moms that are out there, my heart goes out to you. Happy Mother's Day to you. My moms, of course, you know what I'm saying, I took care of that earlier. I'm still, you know what I'm saying, kind of like trying to figure out how we're gonna do for the Dominican version of that, because there's also a second Mother's Day. So we're gonna probably hope for, you know, the restaurants and things like that to be open, hopefully. But, you know, in any case, I was able to get her at least some flowers, and I spent some time with her. We had a little home-cooked meal, and that was like the little, you know, Mother's Day thing that we had here at home. So, again, I just want to wish all the mothers, TI and non-TI, you know what I'm saying, all across the world, happy Mother's Day to all of you. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. God bless you all. And just wanted to put that on the map and on the record, first and foremost. Secondly, I want to let people know that the intro that y'all heard is going to be the intro / outro of this call for tonight is none other than Night of Thunder from the UK. That's why his thumbnail to his avatar on this channel is on this live stream call's thumbnail specifically, so people know who it is that was dropping that rhyme. And that shit was dope. You know what I mean? That shit reminds me of true hip hop, you know what I'm saying, from the 90s. You know, that's my time. That was like my golden time, you know what I'm saying? So the 80s and 90s, I'm an old school cat. So that's what I'm into, you know what I mean? And Night of Thunder, he be dropping it, man. He be, yo, that shit was fucking dope, man. Props to you. My hat's off to you, Nate, man. That was a dope freestyle you wrote specifically for this call. And, dude, that shit, man, I was like, yo, I'm feeling this, man. I'm pretty sure other people gonna feel it too, man. That flow you got too, man, mad unique, you know what I mean? And your flavor, man. How long it took you to write that, bro, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, that was a freestyle. That wasn't written. That was just freestyle.
Oh, so that was off the top?
Yeah.
My man, look at that. He improvised the whole thing, bro. He ain't even write none of that down. Sometimes, you know, I'm used to certain hip-hop artists, or most of them, say that it's a freestyle, but they be written into the shit. You know, in New York, there's a lot of people that do that. And not to say that, or hate on that or anything, but it's just what I'm used to hearing. But as y'all can tell and hear, Night of Thunder is not your average MC, man. You really improvise that shit on the spot. You know what I'm saying? So we got a lot of talented EI/TIs internationally. You know what I'm saying? It shows the creativity, the intelligence factor. You know what I mean? And he was definitely shining on that freestyle, man. So hats off to you, Knight, for that intro / outro that you wrote on the spot, off the top of the dome, specifically for this call. That shit was dope, brother. You know what I'm saying? Hope you continue writing more here and there, like we both agreed upon, here and there, now and again, for this call. More than welcome to it. You know what I'm saying? Whenever you want, write it, keep them there, and I'll keep dropping them, brother. You already know. In any case, man, I just want to cut straight to the stuff that's been going on with me real quick. Not too much to tell. Pretty much the same old shit as far as the targeting goes. You know, there's a lot of things going on in regards to hacking and trying to cause noise campaigns, like disturbances of the peace, shit like that. You know, all that shit is, you know, old hat, man, to me. You know what I'm saying? That shit don't faze me the same way, especially after knowing what the fuck they're doing and what they're trying to do behind it. Nonetheless, you know, there are times where, you know, shit can get to you or what have you, but for the most part, I've handled that in the situation a lot better than I used to. You know what I'm saying? And at work, there's been a lot of targeting psychologically, you know what I'm saying? But I'm expecting that because I already know what's going on. You know, I'm continuing to do what I was born to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm here to expose the lies and expose this program, you know what I'm saying, for what it is. Educate other people on what's really going on and help to put other truths out there while I'm doing what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? If that makes any sense to you people listening and shit. You know what I mean? Like, in other words, if there's other truthers out there and I'm feeling what you're doing, I'll roll with you to the end. You know what I'm saying? And that's how come you'll see different videos that aren't even mine, and I may get them from fellow EI/TI's channels and help boost them on my channel to help them go viral, or hope to go viral at least, get more views. You know what I'm saying? That's what I try to do to help other people get the truth out, because the truth is important, regardless of what other people might feel or think of and get mad about. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck. I'm fearless when it comes to that shit, and I always will be. They won't have to kill me to silence me. None of the fucking shenanigans that they try to do, the buffoonery, the clowning shit that they do, they make themselves look stupid, man. And even more telling that my channel's obviously doing a lot better because it's reaching a lot of more people. More people are looking this way. And that's good for all of us genuine EI/TIs, because that means that we're doing our job. In regards to to people paying attention now. Now they got issues. So now they got to do damage control and send these GACQ motherfuckers and these Australian security intelligence agency motherfuckers and create channels to try to discredit, do shit like that. But I already know what time it is. You know what I'm saying? That shit don't faze me. I already know that you either a retired cop, which I don't give a fuck about, or you're a current cop and you're working for these motherfuckers, which is either GACQ, like I said, or Australian Security Intelligence Agency, which is the equivalent of the CIA over at Australia. You know what I'm saying? But from what I understand, you probably faking the funk with that too. You probably from England, more than likely. And I already know because I got somebody that put me up on that. So if they're telling me more or less that's what it is, they're from their neck of the woods, so they would know. You know what I'm saying? And with that being said, I just want to say I thank the person that did that, because if anything, it's just going to give me more subscribers out there to come to the channel, because I'm noticing a steady rise from the UK after that. So thank you. You know what I'm saying? For the publicity. You know what I'm saying? Because you're just bringing people my way. In any case, that's enough of that. I don't like to talk too much about that bullshit. For those who know me and know me well, know that I don't like to call people out and put people out there and shit like that. That's not my style. Because these people know that they want to step to me one-on-one, face-to-face, whether he's a cop or not. I've had my issues with cops. You know what I'm saying? I'm not afraid of any of these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? I'll go square on with them one-on-one. Take off your badge and we could do this. That's my steez, and that'll always be my steez. All right? So with that being said, I'm going to leave that there and move on to the next segment. Knight has a couple of blazing articles in regards to the NSA and I believe GACQ. Matter Thunder, whenever you're ready, you got the floor, bro.
Yeah, I mean that guy that's trying to discredit you, basically, he hasn't even got an Australian accent. Yeah, he's claiming to be Australian and all that. But you know, people are going to hate on this, especially the perps, you know, because we're exposing everything they're doing. And this program is gradually, I believe, being brought to light. And you know, they're going to try and attack and, you know, silence us and do anything they can to try and make us look in a certain light. But you know, this is all false. But yeah, this article here is basically about GCHQ being funded by the NSA. So the article is on The Guardian, and it starts off exclusive. NSA pays $100 million in secret funding for GCHQ. And it says secret payments revealed in links by Edward Snowden. GCHQ is expected to pull its weight for Americans. A weaker regulation of British spies is a selling point for the NSA. So, I'll start from the article. It says the US government has paid at least $100 million to the UK spy agency GCHQ over the last 3 years to secure access to and influence over Britain's intelligence gathering program. The top secret payments are set out in documents which make clear that the Americans expect a return on the investment and that GCHQ has to work hard to meet their demands. GCHQ must pull its weight and be seen to pull its weight, a GCHQ strategy briefing said. Funding underlines the closeness of the relationship between GCHQ and its US equivalent, the National Security Agency, but it will raise fears about the hold Washington has over the UK's biggest and most important intelligence agency, and whether Britain's dependency on the NSA has become too great. In one revealing document from 2010, GCHQ acknowledged that the US had raised a number of issues with regards to meeting the NSA's minimum expectations, that GCHQ still remains short of the full NSA ask. Ministers have denied that GCHQ does the NSA's dirty work, but in the documents, GCHQ describes Britain's surveillance laws and regulatory regime as a selling point for the Americans. Basically because, you know, the surveillance here is a lot higher. The papers are the latest to emerge from the cache leaked by the American whistleblower Edward Snowden, a former NSA contractor who has rallied to the reach of the US and UK intelligence agencies. I railed at the reach. Snowden warned about the relationship between the NSA and GCHQ, saying the organizations have been jointly responsible for developing techniques that allow the mass harvesting and analysis of internet traffic. It's not just a US problem, he said. They are worse than the US. As well as the payments, the documents seen by The Guardian reveal GCHQ is pouring money into efforts to gather personal information from mobile phones and applications, and has said it wants to be able to exploit any phone, anywhere, anytime. Some GCHQ staff working on one sensitive program expressed concern about the morality and ethics of their operational work, particularly given the level of deception involved. The amount of personal data available to GCHQ from internet and mobile traffic has increased by 7,000% in the past 5 years, or 60% of all Britain's refined intelligence still appears to come from the NSA. GCHQ blames China for the vast majority of cyber attacks against the UK, and is now working with the NSA to provide the British and US militaries with a cyber warfare capability. The details of the NSA payments and the influence of the US over Britain are set out in GCHQ's annual investment portfolios. Papers show that the NSA gave GCHQ £22.9 million in 2009. The following year, the NSA's contribution increased to £39.9 million, which included £4 million to support GCHQ's work for NATO forces in Afghanistan, and £17.2 million for the agency's Mastering the Internet project. Wow. So you see the wording, the mastering the internet. So they want control of the internet, which gathers and stores, and this gathers and stores vast amounts of raw information ready for analysis. The NSA also paid $15.5 million towards redevelopments at GCHQ's sister site in Booth, North Cornwall, which intercepts communications from transatlantic cables that carry internet traffic. Securing external NSA funding for the Booth has protected GCHQ's core budget, the paper said. In 2011-12, the NSA paid another $34.7 million to GCHQ. The paper showed that NSA pays half the cost of one of the UK's main eavesdropping capabilities in Cyprus. In turn, GCHQ has to take the American view into account when deciding what to prioritise. A document setting out GCHQ's spending plans for 2010-11 stated the portfolio will spend money supplied by the NSA and UK government departments against an agreed arrangement by agreed requirements. All the documents say the agency must ensure there's been an appropriate level of contribution from the NSA perspective. The lead papers reveal that the UK's biggest fear is that US perceptions of the partnership diminish, leading to loss of access and or reduction in investment to the UK. When GCHQ does supply the US with valuable intelligence, the agency boasts about it. In one review, GCHQ boasted that it had supplied unique contributions to the NSA during its investigation of the American citizen responsible for an attempt in 2010. No other detail is provided, but it raises the possibility that GCHQ might have been spying on an American living in the US. The NSA is prohibited from doing this by US law. Asking out the payments, a Cabinet Office spokesman said, in a 60-year alliance, it is entirely unsurprising that there are joint projects in which resources and expertise are pooled, but the benefits flow in both directions. A senior security source in Whitehall added, the fact is there is a close intelligence relationship between the UK and the US and a number of other countries, including Australia and Canada. There's no automaticity, not everything is shared. A sentient human being makes decisions. Although the sums represent only a small percentage of the agency's budget, the money has been an important source of income for GCHQ. The cash came between during a period of cost-cutting at the agency that led to staff numbers being slashed from 6,485 in 2009 to 6,132 last year. GCHQ seems desperate to please its American benefactor, and the NSA does not back when it fails to get what it wants. On one project, GCHQ feared it had failed to deliver, and it would diminish NSA's confidence in GCHQ's ability to minimum NSA requirements. Another document warned the NSA ask is not static, and retaining equability will remain a challenge for the near future. In November 2011, a senior GCHQ manager working in Cyprus bemoaned the lack of staff devoted to one eavesdropping program, saying this is not sustainable if numbers reduce further and reflects badly on our commitments to the NSA. The overriding necessity to keep on the right side of the US was revealed in a UK government paper that set out the views of GCHQ in the wake of 2010. The Strategic Defence and Security Review, the document was called GCHQ's International Alliances and Partnerships, helping to maintain Britain's standing and influence in the world. They said our key partnership is with the US. We need to keep this relationship healthy. The relationship remains strong, but not sentimental. GCHQ must pull its weight and be seen to pull its weight. Astonishingly, the document admitted that 60% of the UK's high-value intelligence is based on either NSA end product or derived from NSA collection. End product means official reports that are distilled of the best raw intelligence. Another pitch to the US happy involves reminding Washington that the UK is less regulated than the US. The British agency described this as one of its key selling points. This was made explicit 2 years ago when GCHQ set out its priorities for the coming years. We both accept and accommodate NSA's different way of working. The document said we are less constrained by NSA's concerns about compliance. GCHQ said that by 2013 it hoped to have exploited to the full our unique selling points of geography, partnerships, and the UK's legal regime. However, there are indications from within GCHQ that senior staff are not at ease with the rate and pace of change. The head of one of its programs warned the agency was now receiving so much new intelligence that its mission management is no longer fit for purpose. In June, the government announced that the single intelligence account fund, the pace of GCHQ MI5 and MI6, will be increased by 3.4% in 2015-16. This comes after 3 years in which the SIA, and I'm not sure what that is, has been cut from 1.92 billion to 1.88 billion. The agencies have also been told to make 220 million savings on existing programs. The Parliamentary Intelligence and Security Committee, ISC, has questioned whether the agencies were making the claimed savings and said the budget should be more rigorously scrutinised to ensure efficiencies were independently verifiable and sustainable. The Snowden documents show GCHQ has become increasingly reliant on money from external sources. In 2006, it received the vast majority of its funding directly from White, and with only 14 million from external funding, in 2010 that rose to 118 million. By 2011-12, it 151 million. Most of this comes from the Home Office. That's the article. That's basically showing how the NSA is basically funding GCHQ to spy on American citizens, and in turn, the NSA are spying on British citizens. So it's like that's how they're getting around the surveillance laws, basically. I've got another article. I'll just check. We're still live, right? Can you still hear me, Artie? No, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Cool. How are you, Nappy? Right? I'll just check in because I was worried about it cutting out. But yeah, this next article is off the Intercept, and well, basically psychologists work for GCHQ Deception Unit. It flames debate among peers. This is basically talking about how they're basically using psychologists to help them to do certain things. So a British psychologist is receiving sharp criticism from some professional peers for providing expert advice to help the UK surveillance agency, GCHQ, manipulate people online. The debate brings into focus the question of how or whether psychologists should offer their expertise to spy agencies engaged in deception and propaganda. Dr. Mandeep K. Dahami, I think that's how it's pronounced, in a 2011 paper provided the controversial GCHQ spy unit J-Trig with advice, research, pointers, training recommendations and thoughts on psychological issues, the goal of improving the unit's performance and effectiveness. J-Trig's operations have been referred to as dirty tricks, and Dahami's paper notes that the unit's own staff characterized their work using terms such as discredit, promote distrust, dissuade, deceive, disrupt, delay, deny, denigrate, degrade, and deter. The unit's targets go beyond terrorists and foreign militaries and include groups considered domestic extremists, criminals, online hacktivists, and even entire countries. After publishing Dahami's paper for the first time in June, The Intercept reached out to several other fellow psychologists, including some whose work was referenced in the paper, about the document's ethical implications. One of the psychologists cited in the report criticized the paper and GCHQ's ethics. Another psychologist condemned Dahami's recommendations as grossly unethical, and another called them an egregious violation of psychological ethics. But two other psychologists cited in the report did not express concern. A contractor for reaction and another psychologist, along with Dahami's current employer, defended her work and her ethical standards. British law firm hired to represent Dahami maintained that any allegations of unethical conduct are grossly defamatory and totally untrue. The divergent views on the paper highlight how the profession of psychology has yet to resolve key ethical concerns around consulting for government intelligence agencies. These issues take an added resonance in the context of the uproar currently roiling on the American Psychological Association over the key role it played in the CIA torture program during the Bush administration. The APA's Council of Representatives voted Friday to bar psychologists from taking part in national security interrogations or to advise on confinement conditions. Dahami's consultation with J-Trig and the APA's role in support of the CIA torture program are disparate. There is no suggestion that Dahami advised on interrogations involving torture, nor that her paper was part of an ongoing relationship with J-Trig, but Dahami's GCHQ work, like the APA scandal, provokes heated disagreement and criticism. Some psychologists respond strongly to ethical issues. Some peers are outspoken against Dahami's paper. They do not believe it is possible to engage ethically with the deceitful activities of a unit like J-Trig at any level. Arguments in defense of assisting psychological operations, meanwhile, include the notion that doing so helps ensure they are conducted in a responsible fashion and can help obviate the need for operations that are violent. Dr. Stephen Sold, co-founder of the Coalition for Unethical Psychology, and co-author of two reports from Physicians for Human Rights on Health Professionals' role in the CIA torture program, told The Intercept that the recommendations in Dahami's report highlight the moral hazard of operational psychology, in which psychological expertise is used to further military and intelligence operations. Stoltz condemned the deeply disturbing and grossly unethical recommendations in Dahami's J-Trig report. He added that the psychology profession and the public must grapple with developing proper ethical constraints on the activities of operational psychologists. But Dr. Bradley Olson, who is past president of APA, Division 48, which studies peace, conflict and violence, using one's training to assist in a mission like J-Trig's, which involves the deception and manipulation of unsuspecting targets, is inherently problematic. Using one's expertise, research or consultation to guide deceptive statements, even the statements of others, when the deceptive intentions are clearly documented, that is against psychological ethics, according to Olson, who has collaborated with Sold, including as a co-founder of the Coalition for Unethical Psychology. This is a terrible, terrible violation of psychological ethics and a violation of the APA's ethical standards, he added. Dahami is not currently a member of the APA, but was a member of an APA division at the time. The report was written according to APA bylaws. Divisions must comply with all APA bylaws, association rules and current policies. The online profile at Middlesex University, where Dahami is a professor, currently lists as a member of APA Division 41 and a fellow of Division 9. Alright, a representative of APA Division 9, the Society for the Psychological Study of Social Issues, said that Dahami stopped paying dues in 2013 and is therefore no longer a member. APA and an officer of Division 41, the American Psychology Law Society, acknowledged receiving but did not respond to questions from the intercept. Dr. Christian Crandall, a professor in the University of Kansas Social Psychology program, disagrees with Dahami's critics. My perusal, it seemed that she was writing a brief that would lead to research opportunities, consulting opportunities, and the like. That because this brief was commissioned and written prior to the Snowden revelation, we might give Professor Dahami the benefit of the doubt that she might not have known or anticipated the extent of misconduct in the intelligence agency. Randall is also a council member at SPSSI, the APA division that honored Dahami as a fellow in 2007, and emailing in that capacity said he sees nothing unethical about Dahami's report for J-Trig. After a fairly quick look at the document, he said the report did not merit an investigation. What should SPSSI do? Nothing at all until evidence of actual unethical conduct appears and we have not seen it. It's certainly possible that J-Trig acts badly, spies on domestic or American targets, or even breaks international law. It is a stretch to hold Professor Dahami responsible for this crumbled road. The report is quiet. Huh? Something going wrong.
Oh, that's weird. I gotta turn it around real quick.
Alright, so Dahami, it's a stretch to hold Professor Dahami responsible for this, Crandall wrote. The report is quite a bit like what the US Army teaches their strategic communication officers. It's less offensive than the behaviors of Karl Rove. It's not benign, but Dahami specifies 2 relevant ethical codes, 2 relevant UK laws, and recommends that J-Trig follow the relevant laws. Problems with them now. I do not think that J-Trig requires a set of ethical guidelines that is different from today. Dahami was contacted for this article, responded to questions from the intercept through Schilling's British law firm, and Culhane Meadows, a US firm. A letter from Skilling said that Dahami had upheld the highest ethical standards throughout her academic career and had never sought to hide her association with GCHQ. The work undertaken by a client has been focused on helping GCHQ to accurately understand and responsibly apply psychological science. The letter stated, in working with the government, our client typically provides advice on how to improve specific aspects of their work and is not therefore actively engaged in the day-to-day business of these departments, but rather an independent observer, commentator with a strong track record of publishing critiques of existing government policies. Billings also said Dahami was legally restricted in terms of the responses that she's able to give to the Intercept's questions by virtue of the government agency involved having that no adverse inferences should be drawn from this. Asked about Dahami's report, GCHQ, and in a statement that the agency is aware of the responsibility that comes from the nature of this work. And in addition to the legal accountability, we also take the ethical considerations surrounding our mission seriously. I don't know what's just happened, but the article's gone. I'll have to reread this again because my computer's not connected to the internet. But yeah, the article just went. So I don't know if they did that or something. But there was more to the article.
Wait, hold on a second, Jay. What happened? What just happened right now?
The article closed for some reason.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's probably them. Trying to fuck with your shit.
Unfortunately, I'm going to have to disconnect for a bit to get it back.
Alright. Not a problem, man. We'll wait for you, bro.
Alright, okay.
And I'm going to take the time to welcome Nappy Nicholson to the building. He's been here for the past 10 to 15 minutes or so while Night's been reading. Yo, Nat, man, what's the latest with you, man? I mean, I've seen your latest videos. I even commented on them. I don't know if you got them, though, because they be shadow banning my comments on your channel. But I've done seen your last joints right there, man, in regards to these people with the one headlight bullshit, and of course the one that crashed into your van on the door, man. That's crazy, bro. What's going on, man, with you? Matt, you still there? I think you probably forgot to unmute. You gotta unmute your phone, or you got knocked off. Hold on a second, let me see, because they might have knocked you off. Okay, now I can hear you. There you go. Zach, what's your latest with you, man?
Oh yeah, man, they're messing with the computer in my vehicle. A lot of vehicular arrests. The police are doing a lot of vehicular my door's pretty close to it right now.
You're that, man. Pardon me, bro. But I can barely understand what you're saying. I don't know if there's like mad wind wherever you are right now, but it sounds like mad windy-ish. I don't know if you're driving as you're talking, or you're walking, or you got the window open to your van, and there's like wind coming in or something, because that shit sounds mad loud, bro.
Still?
No, now I don't hear nothing. But were you with the window open or something? Because that shit sounds like mad wind, bro.
Yeah, the window, it's hella hot out there.
Okay, I understand, brother. I understand. I'm not gonna keep you too long like that. I just wanted to ask you what was the latest with you in regards to that. I mean, I already know with this fucking motherfucker on the road that made you swerve over and hit the pole and all that shit, fuck the door up and whatnot. You know, these motherfuckers, man, they're crafty. They're crafty and they're fucking diabolical. With us, it's like we have to think like chess. We have to think ahead. At the type of in the TI, I already know you probably already automatically have to come there. You have to become a defensive driver just to survive out there, because these motherfuckers be doing the most stupidest shit. So you gotta look out for that. You gotta think ahead of them. So, no major accidents and shit. That's what they're trying to cause. Motherfuckers, man. It's ridiculous. But other than that, man, you said that the cops were out there in Sacramento using some sort of gadget, some sort of like jammer, some sort of, you know, computer hacking device where they hacked into the computer of your van. And what did they do, Nappy, exactly?
They threw off the suspension.
Okay.
Yeah, they threw off the suspension of it. So it's already top heavy, so it wobbles a lot. Like when the suspension is off, like it does a lot of wobbling, if you will, because you know the weight on the top is just way too heavy for the suspension to be falling like that.
Shit is crazy, man.
Yeah, crazy, bro.
And was that the first time that's ever happened to you, or you've had that happen before? Because I remember one time when you showed the door locks going up and down, up and down, up and down and shit, and you had your hands in front of the video camera so people could know where your hands were, that you weren't doing that shit. So that's part of the same gadget, you believe, or it's something else?
It could be the same gadget. I think that was my keys, though, my clicker. But I'm not sure. It could be the same gadget that did that to my car. It's no telling. Because when I took when my van went to the stop, you know, they had the clicker, the alarm, get in and get out. So it's easy to make a copy of that shit.
Right. How's it been looking out there, man, with this whole COVID-19 bullshit? I'm saying, like, in Cali, like, how are the streets looking? Are they still looking dead, like, more, you know, like everywhere else? Or are they talking about opening up, you know, certain parts of Cali by, you know,
They're talking about opening it up pretty soon.
What are your thoughts on that?
I think that's the time most people should be quarantining is when they open it up. Because once they open it up, it's going to be bad. They're going to be cross-referencing everybody. It's undeniable that everybody's going to come in contact with somebody who's come in contact with somebody.
Exactly. Good point. Make a very, very valid point right there. That, you know, it's like, it don't get no clearer than that, man. You know, and I think for some reason, man, that they're doing that shit by design. That's a plan of theirs. Like, they kind of want that shit to happen, in a sense, you know, like, to kind of fulfill what they want to make people believe. Like, you see, we opened up the country in certain parts, you know, certain businesses, the economy up again to get people out there. And look what happened. What we said would happen, happened. I believe that's one of those things that they want to enforce in people's minds to get people to believe in shit. And also to continue the flow of this whole pandemic bullshit. You know, because like the whole thing that they were talking about, the second wave and all that other shit, I believe that has something to do with it too. Yeah, that wave shit is starting up again,
Man, it's burning up, bro.
Okay, don't tread it. But you know, like, is there a way where you could, you know, you can't go outside, bro, right? You can't go outside your van. You gotta stay in the van, right?
Oh, I mean, yeah, I guess I can get out. But,
Nah, I know, cause I hear you, man. I hear you, man.
The windiness is gonna be louder.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you find an angle, because sometimes if you find an angle to stand, and you won't hear the wind as much, you know what I mean? Like, maybe you could do that, like, stand in a certain angle, like, by your van and shit, and, like, turn and shit. That'll help. Because you know what it is, Matt? That if we continue just letting that wind there, when we play back the call, all you're going to hear is wind. You're not going to hear the conversation. It's going to sound messed up.
Yeah, it's just pretty bad out there, man. It's bad.
Can you hear me now? Yeah, no, I can hear you perfect, man. Yo, go out there, Nap, if you want, but I understand. I don't want you to be in there like that, you know what I mean? But if you, like I said, if you find an angle to stand on, then I'm sure that you could stop the flow of that shit to a certain extent. I don't want you burning up, my dude. You know what I mean?
It stopped, right?
Yeah, it did stop. Oh, you outside?
Nah. But it's pretty bad out here, bro. It's just bad.
Okay.
It's fucking insane, man.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy, bro. You know what I meant to ask you, man? What's up with that video that you put up, man? That shit was some good information, man. One of the guys that you have subscribed to, I think he goes by Rizza Islam. Yo, dude, that's some heavy duty information. If you don't mind sharing what you heard off that particular brother's channel, that particular video, and dropping it on this call, man.
I can't really recite it, but it's basically the deputizing citizens to be a part of telling. So if they hear people coughing.
No, I've got him. Finally, I got him. They weren't laying. It was just ringing and ringing and ringing and ringing and ringing.
Yeah, hold on a second, man. Give me a second, because Nappy was saying something real quick. So you got through. I got you. You in there, brother. Don't worry about it, man. You just give me a few minutes so Nappy can finish saying what he was going to say in regards to important information that he got on this channel. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop the link to that particular video at the end of this call. I'm gonna put it within the description box so people can check it out also. Nappy, go ahead, brother. Pardon me for that, man.
Yeah, it's just deputizing the citizens, and you would have to take the link out to get the right description and stuff, because I'm just saying pieces and parts of it, but basically what they're saying is that they're going to start deputizing citizens to go around and spy on other citizens and make reports on them if they're coughing, sneezing, or anything like that. It's a lot of information on that. It's man.
I heard about that shit.
Yeah, you would have to check out the link of the video, but yeah, it's definitely
They're trying to create a Stasi.
They're definitely setting us up as a trap, and it almost seems like this is targeting is a part of that shit.
Most definitely. Yo, what I heard, because I heard bits and pieces of it. I didn't check the whole video out, but I am eventually. He was talking about people are now going to weaponize that shit and try to use it like on some snitching shit. Let's say, for example, they got an issue with somebody. They will come out and say, oh, I heard this person coughing and sneezing, such and such and such. I think they got the coronavirus. And by law, they're going to have to follow that shit up and, test them or some shit like that. I remember him saying something about testing people with, like, kits, having, like, little cotton swabs and shit, putting it up their nose or some shit like that, man. That they're going to have now the authorization by law to do that shit. You know what I mean? Like if you have been moved the virus.
You fucking with your audio, man. It's going in and out.
Okay. I'm looking out for that, mate. Let me know if it happens again. Be walking out of where I am now. You see? It sounds good. I'm still. You get it?
Bit choppy. I can hear you somewhat, but it's a bit choppy.
Okay. Yeah, that's definitely I'm fucking with it, man. Y'all already know what time it is. But basically what they're doing is trying to use that shit and weaponize people, like Nappy was saying. They're gonna try to deputize regular citizens. You know what I'm saying? Like these neighborhood watch fools and all these snitches that be rolling with them and all that. Basically gonna give them some sort of policing power, even though it's not really policing power, but it's going to seem to them like it is, because if they have the ability to get someone arrested, technically, or detained, you know what I'm saying? I think that's more of the word here, is detained, and then have them, checked, by force, that you check to see if you have it, you know what I mean? Like to see if you got the virus or not by taking a swab up your nose. It's going to be police doing that. This is what Homeboy was saying. His name goes by, I think it's Riza Islam or something like that. I'm going to definitely put that particular video, the link within the description of this call so y'all could check it out. Because it's definitely information like Nappy had put in his channel. Very important information. You know what I'm saying? Because these are things that we got to keep a record of and an eye on and an ear out for. Because what we're hearing and seeing in specific states here in the U.S., eventually they're going to try to, get that shit to be on some, connected flow type shit where it's going to just connect with every state across the fucking nation. That's what they're trying to slowly but surely do. You see what I'm saying? They start that shit off in certain parts of the country first as a test run. You know what I'm saying? To see how it goes.
The Hitler had. It's like the Stars. They got the Stasi in East Germany were like that. They got all the civilians to snitch on each other. Just like that.
Yep. Mate, whenever you're ready, brother, man. I know you were trying to probably get on the call, man, but they were probably fucking with it. Eventually, I got you through. You got the rest of that article you want to read, man. The floor is yours once again, man. Whenever you're ready.
Yeah, I can't exactly remember where I got to, but I found roughly what it was. But yeah, I had to basically try to call in about 15 times because it was just ringing, and my guess is they weren't notifying your phone. Let me find where I was.
I told you, bro. I told you that the shit don't give me notification if you can't hear it ring, no audio, no nothing.
Yeah. I know straight away, man, it's like they're fucking with it and shit. You know.
But you did the right thing by not giving up and keeping on until you got through. That's exactly what you were supposed to do.
Yeah, man, I wasn't going to stop that. I was thinking of possibly trying to get onto the live call and use their computer to let you go in. But yeah, man. So, yeah, continue well. So, this is the bit I do. So, just go up to the... Right. Psychologists respond strongly to ethical issues. Some peers spoken against a hard paper. They do not believe it possible to engage ethically with the deceitful activities of like Jay.
Yo, hold on a second. Pardon me, they're fucking with your voice now. They're doing the in and out shit with your voice now. If there's anything that you could possibly do, try to do it now, like to readjust the phone or whatever the case is. I know you can't do much because it's a landline phone. But I'm just saying, like, if you could change the channel on that phone or something like that, move around a little bit.
Try putting it on loudspeaker and see if that helps.
Yeah, let's see if that works. But don't be far away from it. Try to stay close.
Yeah, I'm gonna get close. Hang on, give me a sec. Just gotta get close to it.
Yeah, get closer to it because you sound far away.
All right. So, some peers are outspoken against the Hami's paper. They do not believe it is possible to engage ethically with the deceitful activities of a unit like J-Trig at any level. Arguments in defense of assisting psychological operations, meanwhile, include the notion that doing so helps ensure they are conducted in a responsible fashion and can help obviate the need for operations that are violent. Dr. Stephen Soltz co-founded the Coalition for Unethical Psychology and co-author of 2 reports from Physicians for Human Rights on health professionals' role in the CIA torture program, told The Intercept that the recommendations in Dahami's report highlight the moral hazard of operational psychology, in which psychological expertise is used to further military and intelligence operations. Soltz condemned the deeply disturbing and grossly unethical recommendations in Dahami's J-Trig report. He added that the psychology profession and the public must grapple with developing proper ethical constraints on the activities of operational psychologists. For Dr. Bradley Olson, who is past president of APA Division 48, which studies peace, conflict and violence using one's training to assist in a mission like J-Trig's, which involves the deception and manipulation of unsuspecting targets, it's inherently problematic. Using someone's expertise, research or consultation to guide deceptive statements, even the statements of others when the deceptive intentions are clearly documented, as against psychological ethics, according to Olson, who has collaborated with Soltz, including as a co-founder of the Coalition for Unethical Psychology. This is a terrible, terrible violation of psychological ethics and a violation of the APA's ethical standards, he added. Dahami is not currently a member of the APA, but was a member of an APA division at the time the report was written according to APA bylaws. Divisions must comply with all APA bylaws. Association rules and current policies are online profile at Middlesex University, where Dahami is a professor currently listed as a member of APA Division 41 and a fellow of Division 9. A representative of APA Division 9, the Society for the Psychological Study of Social Issues, said that Dahami stopped paying dues in 2013 and is therefore no longer a member. The APA and an officer of Division 41, the American Psychology Law Society, acknowledged receiving but did not respond to questions from The Intercept. Dr. Christian Crandall, a professor in the University of Kansas Social Psychology program, disagrees with Dahami's critics. In my perusal, it seemed that she was writing a brief that would lead to research opportunities, consulting opportunities, and the like, he said. Because the brief was commissioned and written prior to the Snowden revelations, We might give them the benefit of the doubt, but she might not have known or anticipated the extent of misconduct in the intelligence agency. Randall is also a current member of the SSI, the 18th and fellow in 2007, and emailing in that capacity said he sees nothing ethical about Danny's report from J-Trig. After a fairly quick look at the document, he said the report did not merit an investigation. What should SPSSI do? Nothing at all until evidence of actual unethical conduct appears, and we have not seen it. It's certainly possible that J-Trig acts badly, spies on domestic or American targets, or even breaks international law. It's a stretch to hold Professor Downey responsible for this, Randall wrote. The report is quite a bit like what the US Army teaches their strategic communication officers. It's less offensive than the behaviors of Karl Rove. It's not benign, but Dahami specifies 2 relevant ethical codes and 2 relevant UK laws and recommends that J-Trig follow the relevant laws. I do not think that J-Trig requires a set of ethical guidelines that is different from those that are relevant to the rest of humanity. Dahami was contacted for this article and responded to questions from the UNICEF through Skillings, the British law firm. A letter from Skillings said that Dahami had upheld the highest ethical standards throughout her academic career and had never sought to hide her association with GCQ. The work undertaken by our client has been understand and responsibly apply psychological science. The letter stated, in working with the government, our client typically provides advice on how to improve specific aspects of the work, and is not therefore actively engaged in the day-to-day business of these departments, but rather an independent observer commentator with a strong track record of publishing critiques of existing government policies. Skillings He was legally restricted in terms of the responses that she's able to give to the Intercept's questions by virtue of the government agency involved, adding that no adverse interferences should be drawn from them. On Dahami's report, GCHQ said in a statement that the agency is aware of the responsibility that comes with the nature of the work. In addition to the legal accountability, we also take the ethical considerations surrounding our mission seriously. Middlesex University defended Downey's work, writing, Middlesex University has robust ethical procedures and is committed to operating in an ethical way to ensure the highest possible standards of decision-making and accountability. Professor Dahami's work from Middlesex University is carried out in strict accordance with the ethical codes of the organisation, which in turn conform to the standards laid down by the British Psychological Society. Psychological advice for covert propaganda unit. Dahami appears to have been a senior lecturer in criminology at Cambridge University when she wrote the report, as well as a social psychologist with the Defence Science and Technology Laboratory, an agency sponsored by the UK Ministry of Defence. During this period, she was temporarily transferred or seconded to GCHQ, according to a version of Dahami's CV posted online. The top secret document titled Behavioural Science Support for J-Trig's Joint Threat Research and Intelligence Group's FX and Online Humans, which is Human Intelligence Operations, appears to have been written during this stint at the spy agency. The term human commonly refers to human intelligence is based on interviews with 22 J-Trig staffers and 7 support staff from GCHQ. In it, Dahami provides advice on how J-Trig can improve its approach and attain desired outcomes, for example, by applying theories and research around persuasive communication, right? Right? So, compliance, obedience, conformity, and the creation of trust and distrust. So isn't that a lot familiar to what we TIs go for? Right? Coercive persuasion program, right? It says persuasive communication, right? I've noticed one thing they do is they word it differently to what it's currently known as a way to kind of get around it. So this is the article. So compliance can be achieved through various techniques, reads the obedience section of Dahami's report, including engaging the norm of reciprocity, engendering liking, e.g. via ingratiation, I think, or attractiveness, stressing the importance of social validation, e.g. highlighting that others have also complied, instilling a sense of scarcity or secrecy, getting the foot in the door, i.e. getting compliance to a small request issue first, applying the door in the face or lowball tactics, i.e. asking for compliance on a large request issue first and having hidden aspects to a request issue that someone has already complied with, respectively. Reading list. Sorry? Oh, is it alright? Is it okay? Can you hear me? Oh no, what's going on? Anyway, I'll continue. Let me just... hidden aspects to a request issue that someone has already complied with, respectively. In other cases, Dahami presents a menu of possible effective approaches grounded in specific psychological research. It's formally cited throughout the body of the paper. In a recommended reading list and in a list of training requirements for JTRIG staff, propaganda techniques include, Dahami writes, using stereotypes, substituting names, labels for neutral ones, censorship or systematic selection of information, repetition, right, there you go, excessive repetition, NLP, assertions without arguments, and presenting a message for and against the subject. Dahami's 42-page report came nearly 3 years before the world became aware of JTRIG. So this was secret. This group was supposed to be secret, right? But Snowden exposed it. And of its methods of deception, dissemination of online propaganda, acquisition of human intelligence. The unit's existence was first revealed through leaked documents provided by NSA whistleblower Edward Snowden and published by NBC News and The Intercept. JTRIG's tactics include seeding propaganda on social media, impersonating people online, creating false blog posts to discredit targets. Dahami recommends the staff, false blog posts. It's a perfect example, right? Well, how they're trying to discredit what RT's doing. Create a channel and then start spouting this, nonsense about how it's all conspiracy theory and stuff. So anyway, Dahami recommends that staff be trained on the various specific techniques she outlines, that a social influence research program be developed, that the possibility of compiling psychological profiles for exploitation in intelligence operations be explored, and that a catalogue of online crime prevention techniques be developed, the processes for assessment of risk and effectiveness be established, and that JTRIG develop guidelines for operational best practices. Some of the psychology research texts Dahami recommends are marked with an asterisk indicating JTRIG has now acquired the material. The Intercept attempted to contact the authors of materials that have been acquired by JTRIG. One of those authors, Peter Smith, Emeritus Professor of Psychology at University of Sussex near Brighton, England, raised questions about Dahami's paper. Some of the reported actions of JTRIG are clearly contrary to the ethical guidelines of the British Psychological Society, Smith wrote in an email. The descriptions that she provides of the social psychology or influence are broadly accurate, but the use of this knowledge to deceive people or distort the information that they receive is not advocated in any of the sources that she cites. He added, I am certainly not comfortable with the ways which Dr. Dahami has used her knowledge of social psychology. Dahami's profile at Middlesex University does not list the British Psychological Society among her current professional affiliations. Other psychologists cited by Dahami did not criticize the paper, but rather disclaimed any control over her use of the material. Susan Fisk, a Princeton psychologist and fellow of 688 Division, also had her work acquired by JTRIG. He told the Intercept by email, anyone can buy my book. When you write textbooks, it's in the public domain and anyone can use it. I have no control over what happens after it is published. Joseph Forgas, a psychology professor at the University of New South Wales in Australia, had his work on the list as well. He responded, this is publicised research that is in the public domain and is openly available to anyone. I have no further control over its use, and I see no problem at all with anyone using it. If there are indeed any ethical issues here, it is the responsibility of democratic governments to supervise such activity. I am not aware of any abuse, and on the whole I don't see any real issues here. 11 other psychologists whose work was cited by Dami did not respond to emails from the INSET. Dami does not directly address ethical concerns in part of the report, but her treatment of ethics is brief. J-Trigg, she writes, operates under no specific guidelines on ethical practice. He notes that professional codes of conduct exist, such as those of the British Society of Criminology and the British Psychological Society, but determines that clearly not all of the aspects of the above codes will be relevant or applicable to J-Trigg's operations, and the codes do not identify best practice in all of the types of online interactions that J-Trigg staff might be involved in. Thus, she concludes J-Trigg may need to develop a bespoke code that complies with the UK legislation governing intelligence agents. With the University of Sussex psychologist whose work was acquired by J-Trigg used the issue differently, Dr. Dami neither condemns nor endorses the reported actions of J-Trigg, but suggests that their actions may need to be guided by a different ethical code. However, I do not think that J-Trigg requires a set of ethical guidelines that is different from those that are relevant to the rest of humanity. The very idea of a bespoke code that complies with the law but merely considers established ethics codes that may be pertinent without being bound by them is controversial, but not novel. It's far from clear that there is an ethically correct way to engage in acts to discredit, deceive, denigrate and degrade unsuspecting targets. It's decidedly possible that developing guidelines that purport to do so will only lend legitimacy to unsavory behavior. Change to the APA's ethics code adopted in August 2002 allowed psychologists for the first time to adhere to the requirements of the law, regulations or other governing legal authority in cases where those regulations could not be squared with ethical standards. Same month, the Bush Justice Department issued one of the key and secret torture memos, which suggested that interrogators could avoid prosecution for torture if they believed in good faith their actions would not result in prolonged mental harm. Demonstrations of such good faith included consulting with experts. 3 years later, the images of the Abu Ghraib torture scandal had shocked the world. The APA Presidential Task Force on Psychological Ethics and National Security affirmed the organization's support for psychologists' participation in government interrogations. The task force believes that a central role for psychologists working in the area of national security related investigations assist in ensuring that processes are safe, legal and ethical for all participants is stipulated. The institutional posture gave psychologists the ethical cover to participate in interrogations, which in turn provided interrogators with the legal cover, in accordance with the DOJ memos, to engage in enhanced interrogation tactics. In 2010, the APA removed the clause added to the ethics code in 2002, which could open the door to the so-called Nuremberg defense. The 2005 PENS report was retracted in 2013. Social scientists and medical professionals have long struggled with the moral and ethical dilemmas inherent in operational work on behalf of militaries and intelligence agencies. Proponents of such work posit that the so-called psychological operations can limit conflict and save lives, particularly when used tactically, the limited applications within a battlefield as opposed to strategically around the world. Critics maintain that because the potential for abuse is inherent, scholars have an obligation to combat rather than enable psychological operations. Dr. Sarah became chair of the psychology department at St. Francis University in Pennsylvania, summarizes the argument in a study of military social influence. Some propaganda critics, she writes, have argued that propaganda for democracy is simply a contradiction in terms because pervasive propaganda inevitably shapes totalitarian rather than democratic psychological process. Describing strategic psychological operations planned and executed at the national level, King explains these broad-based military perception management initiatives argue some have the potential to endanger both science and democracy. According to King, this debate was most fervent in the period between the two world wars, largely quashed during the anti-communist McCarthy era, and became a relative whisper in the post-9/11 era, when the APA changed its ethical posture to enable psychologists to participate in interrogations. In published response to King, the Army argued in March 2011, the same month the J-Trig report was issued, not assessed, that military use of psychology is inevitable, and therefore civilian psychologists have a responsibility to monitor its application in order to prevent misuse. The integrity of our psychological science is interpreted by the great potential for its misinterpretation and misapplication in military social influence campaigns, Dami wrote. The harm that may be caused by remaining detached from such campaigns, perhaps because of the element of deception and the invasion of privacy involved, may far outweigh the benefits of striving for the welfare and the rights of the campaign targets. Even in the wake of today's APA vote, the debate over the Hami's paper shows the profession of psychology is still grappling with questions over the ethical limits of involvement in government intelligence programs. Psychologists should use their unique insights into human behavior to promote human welfare and dignity, not undermine or harm individuals, Sarah Dougherty, a lawyer and senior fellow of the U.S. Anti-Torture Program at Physicians for Human Rights, told me INSET. The J-Trig allegations merit further investigation. So that's the end of that article.
Appreciate you, mate.
Hold on a second. I got Nappy calling over the line.
A long article, but I thought it was quite interesting how you know, gather like information on how to control people and basically destroy people.
Yeah, most definitely, man. I like the piece that you did, like the second article. I flowed more with that one because it was breaking down stuff that I think we could relate to more with the psychological operations that GACQ was involved with. Those psychiatrists and psychologists and shit that they had in that group, that right there signifies a lot, man. And to have those documents proving that that shit exists, they spoke on the APA. And I remember when I had a conversation before with Nigel in regards to the APA, how they fucking had a website. And I remember the website, it had green and yellow in it. And he had mentioned something about it in the video. The very next day, I go onto that website, that shit is gone. They fucking terminated that shit, B. So that's the American Psychiatric Association. And what they had on there that Nigel proved was that the coercive persuasion program exists. And all those motherfuckers know about it. All those motherfuckers that got degrees in psychology and shit like that, that become psychologists and psychiatrists and all that, they know about it. But they gotta act like they don't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's awesome that you found that article, Nate. Hats off to you, man, for that. We're gonna definitely add those two articles within the description. Thank you for taking the time to read them too, bro. At this point, I want to welcome back Nappy Head Roots in the building, and none other than Nigel Nicholson, man. He also is in the building. Nigel, man, you came in at the perfect time. Whenever you're ready, man, if you want to say anything that you want in regards to your targeting this week first, drop that. You may do so if you have that article on you now. You could also read that after or before, however you want to do it, man. You got the floor, Nigel.
All right, man. Yeah, you know, I'm gonna start off with my targeting, man, and microwaving, you know, me and my kids, in the apartment. You know, threatening, if I continue to talk about this, so I'm going to target my daughter, and how they're doing this, even especially today, being that, you know, they don't want me to be on this call. My daughter, you know, my daughter's 6 years old. My daughter came in front of me, started playing with her hair, stuck her pen out in front of me, and turned around and left, right? So when they start doing stuff like that, I know that she's being controlled, right? And they're making her give those responses to me, right? And then Pam, you know, again, so
last night, being very rude. As soon as after she heard the sirens, the police sirens, then she started targeting me. And we were like watching a movie and stuff. And I was like, okay, the movie finished, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna take a shower. I'm going to bed. We were like, all right, I'm gonna clear off the bed. In the shower, came out, changed, grabbed myself off, dressed and everything to bed. And, after I went into the living room for a minute, just to look at something on my tablet. Actually, to watch the video that you had sent me on to you about the guy in Australia. That shit is funny. These people.
Keep that shit
right? Hilarious.
You're making headway when they got somebody out of the fucking boondock out in Australia.
Exactly. I remember you telling me that too. That once you have people doing shit like that, man, that means that you're making noise. In other words, that you have people listening, and then they got to do damage control and do stuff.
They try to discredit you. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I get she went into the bathroom, I get into the bedroom. Yeah, piles of clothes on the bed. Now, mind you, this is like around 2 o'clock in the morning, right? So, when I went to take a shower and got back in the living room, that was like, I told her about 40 minutes. Prior to me going to the shower, she was like, I moved here to bed. So I'm like, okay, what happened? So I ended up sleeping on the couch, and I got this morning. She basically slept till like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So I've been up, just taking care of the kids. Now, mind you, I have tests to study for all this stuff. I can't even do that stuff because she's not even remotely thinking to say, hey, Nigel got schoolwork and such and such. So this is their way of trying to hamper that. You know what I'm saying? I haven't been able to get any study with it because, again, the minute she comes home, she just go home and go to sleep. And I'm stuck with the kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, my daughter's 6 years old, and I got to constantly play with her because, she got nobody to play with. Like, if she in school, she has her friends and stuff like that, I'm with her. I woke up this morning, she wants to play with her dogs and stuff like that, and I'm the one playing. I mean, I can't tell her no, We're in isolation, so I know it's not good for the psyche of the child, you know what I'm saying? That they need that interaction, they need that playtime. So this is all they're doing, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, she has not even said, hey, don't you have, the funny thing is that last week, because I left the home last weekend, it was like Friday she came home, she went straight to bed, okay? Then Saturday came, she stayed in bed like all day again. And so I was like, I'm going home, okay? And then after that, she stopped targeting me, And so I still want anyway to let her know that, the reason why she stopped was because she wanted me to stay. But the minute I stay, she started back there targeting me. So today, earlier, she started targeting me again. I was like, I can't go home yet. So she was like, because wrong and such and such. So, I'm like, okay, we're going to play it your way. We're going to play that, that dumb shit, right? Like, you don't quite understand what you're doing and such and such. So I ain't saying that. I said nothing. And, okay, so she stopped talking. Okay? So I was like, man, these motherfuckers constant, sirens at night. I shouldn't say constant because they've been very strategic in how they use the sirens against me now. But most of my stress comes from just being here and her, just like coming home and just going to sleep. And mind you, she works in the preliminary department, right? So she's not like a nurse and then there's a street control like that. She works at 9 to 5, that's it. 9 to 5. But she's working 12-hour shifts. She's like always tired. But yes, she can get up in the fucking room and text her ex and all that shit. But she wouldn't even get up in the room to make her kids breakfast. Okay? So whenever the kids need something, it's daddy. And the minute I get her to take a break to try to study, she comes in and all of a sudden want to talk to you and start talking.
just constant interruption, constant. My mind, like, not even focus on my school. Like, I'm so stressed. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying not to blow up. I'm just trying to just not even think about it. Off from that, every time I go to bed, if I go into the bedroom, I gotta hear police sirens. No matter what time of the night. Because I fucking slept last night. You know what I'm saying? Like, I went after I spent the 40 minutes taking a shower in the mirror, so I get ready to go to the bedroom and shit out here. Whoop. She was there, and I'm just like, damn, man. Even the night before, same shit. You know, so even though the corona stuff is keeping everybody active, they're still targeting you in the Like I said, they will adapt. They will continue to target you, but they will adapt. Being that I'm not a part of much anymore, now we're being microwaved in the house even there. You know? So that's what it is, man. I got 2 tests I gotta take tonight, and I can't even do it because, you know, my mind is just not focused on me. And you know, can't even concentrate. So, you know, that's that. But, you know, I look at it as a minor setback. What's going to happen is that I'm going to my school. I have given students the option of getting a no grade instead of a grade, like a failing grade. We will get a no grade, and it wouldn't affect our academics, but it may affect my financial aid going forward. So, you know, I got to see how much financial aid going forward, how's that going to do? You know? So, anyway,
fuck with quality of life, man.
Yeah, exactly. This is what they do, and it's constant. You know what I'm saying? I try to keep it together, but there are times when I just want to, like, fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? But I know if I leave it, my kids will be in a worse state, man. I'm telling you, I went home last week and I came back in the morning. And I said, this is the reason why I'm not going to do my daughter here last week, and she didn't do it. My daughter here looked like a damn, you know, finally she washed it today, she went out in the corner. Forgot about that. She took a shower or whatever. She became my daughter anyway. The whole week my daughter here from the outside. Right? And you know, I put like conditioner in her hair, stuff like that, but you know, I don't know how to do her hair. And but I'm just like, oh, you know, it's like, again, you know, this is what they're doing, right? And the fact that she doesn't even, she's just a very selfish person. She wants to see all the black stuff. You know, she's whatever she can get out of you. You know, like I said, give this program, basically people around you, especially when they do that microwave shit, and they create level of personality they want to create within that person, including yourself, if you're not aware of it. You know, when you get close to people, when you know people who don't want to understand what's going on, totally oblivious, you know, who think that they can't be manipulated, they're the ones who are manipulated the most. You know? So, yeah, but you know, that's how it is, man. But okay, let's get back to this article, which I had sent RT. I sent you this a while ago.
Yeah, you did.
All right. Let's see here. Let me get here's the article here. Here it is. It's right. So you know, it's funny because you know, watching the video with that dude in Australia, and you know, I'm like, first of all, you know, a lot of people don't believe these people anymore, anyway, right? Because if you think about it, what's going on right now, okay? You have more people are starting to believe in a lot of the conspiracies and the conspiracy theories that other people have been talking about, right? Because a lot of stuff is coming out onto the surface, and particularly when you see how people in power, how they behave, and how they act towards certain things. You know, like there's no doubt when you have like some doctors come out and saying, hey, you know what, you know, these people are killing people, right? When you hear that, doctors come out and saying that, nurses come out and saying that, Okay? More and more people are not believing him. So, when I listen to this guy, especially when I look at the comment and stuff like that, just the thing he said in the comment, I'm like, he's not getting the type of feedback that he would expect, right? Knowing from the type of person that this idiot is. Because if you look at this comment, people are saying, I think I had read one that says, it could be because of, there's certain conspiracy that is happening, or what he might say is true. It's just that, he may be not saying it in the right way or what have you. So a lot of the comments, some of it was negative, but some of it was like, letting this guy know that, hey, yeah, some of this stuff is going on, okay? So like I said, it isn't like they've had it, they've with these people coming out now, they're trying to discredit our feet. It isn't the same as before. Because a lot of people are now beginning to wake up and realize that, yeah, a lot of this stuff is going on, okay?
Yeah,
and so...
undenied effect.
Yeah, exactly, right? And so, a couple of months ago, but almost a year, the World Health Organization, is it the World Health? No, it's just Cambridge University, okay, in which some of the scientists, right, some of the scientists from Cambridge University saying the world must prepare for biological warfare weapons that target ethnic groups based on genetics. That's Cambridge. Okay? And it says, this is written by Sarah Captain, right? She's a science editor. And it says biological weapons could be built which target individuals in a specific ethnic group based on their DNA. A report by the University of Cambridge has one. And before I read on, back in the 80s and 90s, the government of South Africa was creating biological weapons to sterilize black men, right, and women in South Africa. And they were talking about putting it in the drinking water, right, of the people who live in the township of Soweto and other townships where the population is primarily, black Africans. Okay? So this is nothing new. But now, this is going to happen with everybody now. Okay? And so researchers from Cambridge Center for the Study of Existential Risk said the government was failing to prepare a human-driven catastrophic risk that could lead to mass harm and societal collapse. In recent years, advances in science, such as genetic engineering and artificial intelligence, and autonomous vehicles have opened the door to a host of new threats. In a new report, experts called on policymakers to protect their citizens and start preparing for events such as devastating bioengineering pandemic or programmers losing control of AI systems. Okay, I'm surprised on here. Oh wait, now they want you to pay for this? I should have, I clicked on the link when I was reading it before. I didn't have to pay for this stuff. But now, you see what happens? So what they did now is that now I need to access the information.
What size is that?
That's the, hold on a sec, I'll tell you. Let me just log in, get my passwords.
Way you might be able to get out.
Nigel, if you got a opinion, forget that shit. Fuck that, bro. Yeah, I don't want you to have to do it.
No, I didn't have to pay before when I was reading it. So I'm kind of surprised that, now I have to pay for this shit.
See this? I've been meaning to tell you this. You know, for the websites they've deleted, there's a website called the Internet Wayback Machine, and it catalogs pretty much all the websites on the internet. You can actually see websites as they appeared years ago.
Okay. All right. Here it is. Here it is. I found a way. Thing. All right. Yeah. All right. So I found. What I did is that after the pasting, I didn't do the pasting. I just did my email, and then I went back to it, and then I actually got back to the article before. So okay. So now let me finish. Right. So. In a new report, experts called on policymakers to protect their citizens and start preparing for events such as a devastating bioengineered pandemic or programmers losing control of AI systems. Highlighting some of the major concerns, the report author writes, more nefarious hands could, as they have before, develop pathogens and toxins to spread through air, food, and water sources. And the technology is becoming increasingly sophisticated at ever cheaper prices, democratizing the ability to harm more quickly and lethally. In a particular bad case, a bioweapon could be built to target a specific ethnic group based on its genomic profile. The report also warned that AI could become extremely harmful and potentially unstoppable. Companies like Google, DeepMind, of AI programmers, which are already showing signs of human intuition. If an artificial intelligent machine develops its own goals and has the capability to pursue them, the unintended consequences could be catastrophic. They are called and have called for a Minister of National Risk to be appointed. Former Defense Secretary Des Brown, one of the authors, says, our leaders can and must act now to better understand the global catastrophic risks that are present and developing. National governments struggle with understanding and developing policies for the elimination of mitigation of extreme risk, including global catastrophic risk. Effective policies may compel fundamental structural reform of the political system, but we do not need, nor do we have time to wait for such change. The report also called for an independent review of extreme risk to Britain and the world, and a review of national strategies currently in place to deal with emerging threats. Other threats they identified include environmental tipping points caused by climate change, asteroid strikes, and the accidental or terrorist-related use of nuclear weapons. Professor Lord Martin Rees, an astronomer royal and co-founder of CSER, said, global problems require global solutions. The countries must also act individually. Without action, these catastrophic risks will only grow over time, whether it be on climate change, eco threats, synthetic biology, or cyber. Governments have a responsibility to act and to cope with a catastrophic if it occurs. And those initiatives are very the decision is available in the country. So, again, with this whole coronavirus, specifically in America, when they knew about this stuff. Okay, when the Obama administration had left office, they had set up a pandemic response team, right, in the White House to deal with such a threat. When Trump came into office, he disbanded the team. Okay, even after he had intel about this virus, they continued to ignore it. He goes on television and says that him and Mike Pence saying, and all these, far-right Christian pastors saying they're going to pray that the virus will not come to America and that God would not let the virus come to America. And guess what? The virus was already here in America. Then, after the first case, Trump was like, oh, it's only one person, and You know, it's gonna go quickly. You know, a couple of days later, more people in Washington tested positive. Right? Then he's like, well, we got everything under control. So when you have a leader and his cabinet members, right, making a decision to deceive and lie to the American people, okay? I mean, it goes to show you, again, how when these people are in positions of power, that they don't take science properly, that they, you know, they want to, you know, pray stuff away, pray the gay away, pray the disease away, pray the hurricane away, pray the tornado away. And this is all, you know, acts, you know, some of these things are acts of nature. Tornadoes, you know, volcanic eruption, hurricanes, all this stuff. You can't pray this stuff away. And it is why they fail to take action after a natural disaster strikes. They are slow in their response, and they are failing to take action before, right, to prevent major loss of life. And this is what happened here. Now, on top of that, you have this existential threat of this, you know, I wouldn't say terrorists, but I would say governments also, of developing bioweapons to target specific ethnic groups. Okay? And they've been doing this. This isn't nothing new. I'll give you an example of South Africa. What the South African government was doing in the 80s and 90s. They were trying it. And they had developed it. But the reason why they didn't use it was because of the fear of outrage that would have sparked around the world and around the globe. Okay? So that is the only reason that prevented them from doing that. From using that chemical, biological weapon that targeted black people. Okay? The only reason why they did not use it was because, again, they were afraid of the repercussion and what the world stage would say about what they have done. So, you know, this is nothing. I mean, stuff like this happens, particularly when you have people who would use situations like this to their advantage. Okay? That they would let something like this happen, or see something like this happening, I should say, see this happening, and take a back seat and let it spread like wildfire. Okay? Because they want to get rid of certain people. Because if they know that this virus is even more deadly to people with pre-existing conditions, guess what? Who in the American government that we know that don't like people with pre-existing conditions, that don't want to give health care to people with pre-existing conditions, that who is in political power right now, whose party has a history of that. Right? So that's why the Trump administration did not do anything and downplay it. And so now you have a lot of black and brown people who are being, you know, killed at a much higher rate than any other group. I'm trying to find the article about the South African government creating that weapon here. There it is. It was called Project Host. Okay. Tales emerged from apartheid hearings, Los Angeles Times. Okay. Let's go to that one. Okay, so Cape Town, South Africa, government scientist Jan Lorenz knew something wasn't right. His military boss had instructed him create assassination applicators from umbrellas to fire lethal pellets to screwdrivers spring-loaded with poison. Lauren dutiful did the job, but the bioengineer also went to the top, voicing his concern to the head of the South African Chemical and Biological Weapons Program, Surgeon General Neil Coburn. I understand him to say he had developed instruments or gadgets that would be used either to kill or maim individuals, who will testify Thursday about his meeting with Lauren in 1993. He said, "I'm sorry, I did not know about it, and I did not want to know about it." Okay? So with the Blunt administration, Coburn laid bare the latest extraordinary revelation in South African inquiry into apartheid-era weapons program that were aimed at the country's black population. Even a white scientist with a pang of conscience had nowhere to turn less than a year before historic elections for black and majority. All right, so all this stuff, I'm trying to find the one where it was. So Project Coast was a 1980s top-secret chemical and biological weapons program instituted by the apartheid-era government of South Africa. Project Coast was the successor to the limited post-war CBW program, which mainly introduced the lethal agent TX powder and mustard gas, as well as non-lethal tear gas for riot control purposes. The program was headed by Walter Baston, a cardiologist who was a primary physician of then South African Prime Minister P.W. Botha. So these people were, creating biological weapons just to target the black population. But there was a video that had surfaced of the South African doctor who talked about their development of biological and chemical weapons to sterilize. This is it's called a conspiracy to commit genocide. Anti-fertility research in apartheid chemical and biological weapons program. Okay. In the late 2013, the Health Professional Council of South Africa and founder Dr. Walter Basson guilty of unprofessional conduct. Right? The charges stem from Basson's time as head of the apartheid South Africa chemical and biological weapons. The program implicated in kidnapping, poisoning, and murder. Very little attention has been paid to a different aspect of the program, anti-fertility research. This article argues that testimony from the Truth and Reconciliation Commission found a reasonable basis to believe that scientists at the program and their principal were engaged in a conspiracy to commit genocide. The conspiracy to surreptitiously deliver anti-fertility drugs to black South Africans with the intention of curtailing birth rates. The conspiracy of this kind give rise to individual criminal responsibility under international criminal law, given South Africa approach to the incorporation of intentional crimes may be prosecuted as such in the domestic court. Regardless of whether it be a good idea to prosecute the conspirators now, 30 years after the fact, South Africa research into anti-fertility drugs ought to play a far greater role in temporary discussion of apartheid era laws. Okay? So they were talking, they were developing this stuff, right? And this is, again, so when they talk about this stuff now, I'm just like, well, why are they not mentioning this stuff happening in South Africa? But, when it comes to things being done to people of color, particularly black people, they tend to be a silence, right? They tend to be a hush-hush, okay? Until it starts happening to other groups of people who are, whether it be white or Asian, then, it becomes mainstream news, right? So this is nothing new. Okay? And we all should be outraged at this stuff, and but they try to sweep it under the rug as if stuff like this didn't happen. When it did. You can't erase history, and this is what they've been trying to do, is to erase history and to turn people's mindset from what happened in the past. Because you know what? Once they're able to do that, then there'll be a continuation of these sort of atrocities being done over and over again because people tend to forget. Okay? So this is something that, again, is like I said, is nothing new. And when governments take that position in which they will create chemical, they may say, you hear them say, oh, it's the terrorists, right? But it's not just the terrorists. Okay? It's your own government. And I guess you can call them terrorists because they do shit like this, but, sometimes it's your own government that do stuff like this. Okay? And so I'm rest assured that they have developed these sort of methods. Rest assured. Okay? And I think that with this sort of program, with the technology that they've developed in terms of creating, being able to mind control people, being able to create a sort of passiveness within people, doesn't matter what group of people, everyone, that you'll start to see more stuff like this happening on the pipeline. The stuff that happened in China with the Wuhan, with this COVID-19, the fact that, you have people who are in positions of power who are not taking it seriously. They're taking it seriously enough to where their rich friends, right, will get tested or may get the first vaccine, okay, and everybody doesn't have to wait, or the medicine, everybody has to wait. We all heard that TV Trump said that the people who should be tested first are the oil tycoons. This is what he said on national TV. Okay? And if that doesn't give people a wake-up call, I shouldn't even say that because it didn't give people a wake-up call. Because you still have, a huge number of people supporting this guy. Right? The guy on national TV says that, other regular people in America, they shouldn't be tested. Let's test the rich, let's test the rich tycoons first. Let's get the rich to test first. That way, they can be treated first. Right? This is happening in 2020. This is happening. Okay? And yet, you see no unity amongst people. But you see the division. This is what we do for us to divide people. Okay? You see the division. So now, when they start, using these weapons, people are going to be so divided that they're not going to care. Right? So, it doesn't surprise me. My thing is, I hear people say, oh, I'm surprised by this. And it's like, as PIs, we should not be surprised with anything these governments do. Of anything, matter of fact, of anything, anybody. Okay? And, that's the sad part. That's the sad thing. When you have doctors going on TV and say, they're killing black people, black and brown people. Okay? And then getting removed from their posts for exposing the truth. Right? It is horrible. But as long as it's black and brown people, it's okay. The world tends to, it's like an easy blow, right? It's like, that's an easy pill to swallow. Okay? Because it's not happening to the other people. Once it happens to the other people, now then you're going to see, hey, because what? Eventually, things are going to get worse. It's not going to just be black and brown people that's going to be feeling the majority blunt of it. It's going to be everybody. I always say this, if you are silent to atrocities and it comes knocking at your door, you have no right to speak for help. You have no right to ask for it. Because you allowed it, you stayed silent, and it's happening to other people. Now it's happening to you, now you want somebody to come and help you and save you. Okay? Like the movie, The Train to Busan. I think it's a movie that everybody should watch. It's a vampire movie. It's a zombie movie. But in a particular scene where you have these people who are trying to move up this train to get into the car with everybody who wasn't infected before that. And this group of people, they barricaded the door, they locked the door. They didn't want to let the other group of people in because of fear of infection, even though they see that, they wasn't infected. And the people, end up having to break down one of the doors, They eventually got it. Okay? And then they were ordered, the majority groups were ordering the other people to go in the next cart and barricade themselves. And so they tied their ties and their shirts to make sure that, they can't come out. And there was two sisters, two older sisters. One was with the other group of people who were trying to move through the cart to run from the boundaries. The other one was in the cart where they were protected. And when the other people broke in and they actually got in, her sister, stayed behind. She didn't want to go. She was like, I'm tired of running. And the zombie, bit the sister. She changed. And then after that group moved into the other cart, and the majority group started arguing amongst themselves, she kind of looked at them in disgust that they would let people die. Okay? And so she went and she opened up the cart, and almost everybody was dying, except for the people who was going to the cart and going to the first cart, right? So I say that to say is that when you have a group of people who, just because it is not happening to them at the moment, or they feel protected, and they see things happening, and they don't help anybody, and they stay silent, eventually it's going to happen to them. Either somebody on the inside is going to feel disgusted with the group, okay, and expose them and those people to the virus or whatever it is, or those people are going to be overwhelmed by the people who are affected, and they will become affected by it also. So that's why, you have to take a stand. You cannot reconcile. History has told us this. Okay? But we as human beings have a very short memory. It's not our fault. Because those
Nigel, what's the name of that movie again?
The Train to Busan.
The Train to Busan?
Yeah.
But that is the...
Yes, it's an important lesson in that,
Right.
And so, like I said, it's not, it's just that, you have people in power who want to remain in power. So separation and division is what they create. And, that's that. Now I want to address the guy in Australia who's going to be listening. So I'm going to address him personally. People like that, okay, is people who feel that, again, they try to silence those of us who, speak out about what's going on. They want to say that we're crazy, or this and that, such and such, okay? And the one thing, what I know about Australia is a very, very racist country. It has always been that. It has a history of killing the indigenous people, stealing their children, okay, murdering them in order to convert them into their religious beliefs, okay, kidnapping thousands of children, okay, taking them from their home, killing their parents, and they have maintained that mentality. So it doesn't surprise me when a person like this idiot, tries to discredit, someone who is trying to expose the psychological program that's happening in order to, send doubt in people's minds. Because this is what these people do. Okay? All throughout history, there have been people who spoke the truth, and there are those who have been trying to discredit or have discredited those of us who spoke the truth. But like I said, today is a new day. It's a different era. It may have taken us some time to get to this point. But I say this now, right? That there were many people before, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, who called us conspiracy theorists. Now, those very same people, a lot of those very same people, are now are the ones being called conspiracy theorists. I want you guys to think about that, okay? And not in a negative way, but in a way that says, okay, there's hope. Because remember, 10, 20 years ago, these people did not want to believe us. They call us conspiracy theorists, call us crazy. Guess what? I guess we're all crazy now, right? Not just us piazzas that they want to label us as, but even though they used to label us as that. Because I've seen it on Facebook. People would doubt me whenever I used to say it. And all of a sudden, you know, they're posting crazy, they're posting like all sorts of stuff that I think is off the wall. Alright? You know what I'm saying? And they say the stuff I post is off the wall. Right? So again, what does that tell you? Okay. I think
by making yourself a different thing.
right.
That's a conspiracy theory effect.
But I think we're moving into an era now in which more people have become awakened. Okay? Maybe not so much, no, I should say that, but maybe not a lot of them is awakened to what we're saying. But there are those who are. And there are those who understand that now when we as TI in the TI community, you know, try to expose this, that a lot more people are going to believe us. Or at least going to say, you know what, they could be right. Okay? So, you know, I wouldn't worry about this idiot in Australia. They tell he's a very lonely man. He looks like he lives in a shack.
I don't even think he's from Australia. His accent is Birmingham, United Kingdom. It sounds West Country. Not West Country, my mistake. Black Country.
Okay.
That's the county. It's Birmingham. It's called the Black Country. By the West Midlands.
Okay. Well, you kind of sound a little bit Australian to me, so that's why I said that. So you might be absolutely right. So
I think it's possible maybe he moved from Birmingham because he had a Birmingham FC.
yes, I saw it.
So I imagine he was English originally, and then he's saying good day like he's Australian all of it.
Another observation, man. I mean, when I was watching the video the first time, man, y'all know me, man. I'm a natural observer, so I can't help but do that, man. I was just looking in the background on the bookcase, right? So on the bookcase, what I saw was a makeshift helmet of like a fucking aluminum foil hat. No lie, y'all. An aluminum foil helmet. You know what I'm saying? And he had it on the shelf. Then he had like this plaque that was displayed where the video camera would pick it up. So obviously he was proud of that shit. He wanted people to see it. But you can't really make it out unless you look really closely. So I, you know, looked really closely. I had some shit to zoom in on it. And what it said on the plaque was West Midlands Police. So he's either a retired cop or maybe even an active cop out there. You know what I'm saying? And if he's not an active cop, he's some sort of JHCQ working for the local government over there after he retired from the police force or whatever the case may be. But that plaque is most definitely from the Midlands, West Midlands Police, because I saw it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Birmingham's
right. Oh, and the fact that he's watching you so hard, bro, it's like, come on, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You know?
So, you know, I was peeping that shit, and I was like, okay, so that whole fucking aluminum foil helmet hat, that's a subliminal right there. He's trying to throw indirect psychological games and shit like that. You know what I mean? Got a little pot belly and shit, like, you know, Knight was saying. You know what I mean? Just chilling there, making his little jokes and jabs or whatever. I pretty much laughed, but I felt like he could have done a lot better, man. Because that shit it wasn't like he had anything good. Meaning, like, he had something really good, like, to throw at me and shit. He was basically reaching from what I was hearing and seeing, man. So, I look at it like this, man. Any publicity is good publicity, the way these motherfuckers look at it in Hollywood and shit. If you don't give me more subscribers, which I noticed that the subscriber count from the UK went up a little something, I'm getting subscribers from the UK. Not a lot, but you know, here and there, they popping up after that. So, hey, man, I appreciate that, because that's what he pretty much did. Ain't nobody unsubscribed from me or shit like that. So, I'm looking like, yo, you do me a favor. Wait, I'm not even the type to respond to nothing like that, but I felt the need to just address some of that shit on this call tonight. Because that's the first and last time I'm going to even mention that fool. I don't even want to mention his name because I don't want to give him no free promo. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it is what it is. It just proves and shows that we're doing the right thing. People are looking our way. And that was their pathetic attempt to do damage control, man. That's how I see it.
I just read it. What we say? We bring the facts, and everything we talk about is, you know, provide the information, whether it's the patents on the remote neural monitoring or the, you know, documentation of these crimes and, you know, atrocities that are being committed around the world. So, I can't say we're bullshit. Anyway. Can't do it. We can read facts.
Yeah, and yeah, facts is important, man, and that's the thing. Is that because, you know, they're worried. They're worried. Like, you know, I mean, obviously they know that more and more people are listening to RT's call, and so now they're gonna, you know, start attacking him now to discredit him, right? And anybody who listens to this call, whether TI, now understand this, okay? Is that you become even more of a threat when people are starting to listen to you, and particularly when you start to make a lot of sense. Particularly when you're also given factual information, okay? Because the one thing, if you wasn't given factual information, you know, and those of us on the team wasn't given factual information, it wouldn't even pay us no mind, okay? But the fact that we're given factual information, that when people go and look it up, they're like, okay, yeah, this is factual, this is facts right here, this is, yeah, these people are definitely telling the truth, right? That is when they start to attack you, because, you know, being, how should I say, they want to keep the public in the dark about these things, okay? So for them, you know, this stuff has worked in the past, but I'm glad that, because we know this, and, you know, we've handled this stuff head on, right? So we've talked about how they'll try to discredit you and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that we're telling people, yeah, this is what they're going to try to do, and then people are actually seeing it happen, right? Again, it lends to our credibility, right? And it also makes them look bad because of the fact that, look, yeah, we talked about this, and look, this is exactly what these people talk about, and this is what they do. Okay? So, you know, they're so anxious to discredit us that they have even made themselves look bad, and they have even exposed themselves, right? And so you got to look at it. You got to look at it like that. But you know, I mean, we're gonna keep doing what we're doing, and like I said, more and more people are becoming awakened to a lot of this stuff, and particularly when you see people, more and more people are starting to understand and realize, yeah, that this is cool, you know. And, you know, look, in any society, again, that's why I love history, you know, the history, like I said, history always teaches stuff. When you look at societies who have risen and fallen throughout history, there's a certain pattern, right? That happens. There's certain things that these people in power and government do that ultimately will lead to the downfall of the organization or of the society or of the country, right? And so, you know, we just got to continue to do our part in exposing it. And I think the more and more people become aware and understand, it ultimately will be better. Ultimately, there'll be more people joining in the fight. Even now, sometimes, like I said, you know, they've been so strategic in terms of the noise campaign. You know, I can remember it was yesterday. I think yesterday morning I woke up around 6-something in the morning, and it was like a shitload of noise campaign, ambulance stuff was going on, and for the rest of the day it was like silent, except for, you know, last night. You know what I'm saying, when I was going to bed, when I start with the roof, you know. But I think, again, people will be becoming aware. Like when you start to see, if you outside and you start to see ambulances and police vehicles that might be parked up, you know, engaging in their sirens for no reason, and then people start to ask questions. right? And I said this. I said, eventually they will expose themselves, because eventually they're going to, particularly in your neighborhood, and particularly if you're a new TI, because they're going to target you a lot with the noise campaign. And the fact that they don't quite understand is that not also are they keeping you, the TI, awake, but they're keeping your neighbors awake, and sometimes the neighbors have children, and if their children can't sleep because of all this noise, guess what's going to happen? People's going to start filing complaints. And then eventually, the noise campaign is going to be not as intense or as frequent. I shouldn't say intense, but as frequent anymore. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I see is happening. The noise campaign is not as frequent. When it does happen, it's intense and it's short, or it's like like I said, they may use the police sirens once for the night, and then that's it. Whereas before it was multiple times during the night. So I start to see, how the patterns change, and I think it's because people are aware. Okay, and that is why, today, like I said, they, mind control my daughter to come walk towards me. She's like pulling on her hair and just sticking her tongue out at me. Right? Yeah, I know you said right, baby. It's okay. You didn't know that you were and so again, it's like it's a threat, right? So if I continue to talk about this, it's going to happen. And then again, also, it threatened me with the stimulus check I was supposed to receive. And if I keep talking about stuff, I'm going to receive it. And really, truly, I'm talking about arguing shit. They want to, hey, go ahead. I'm saying, go ahead. Y'all want to take that from me because I talk about what y'all doing? Go ahead, I have no problem with that. Shit, if I had $1 million, you're going to take it out of my bank account. If you try to threaten me, you can take that $1 million out. That's fine. Money would not be a tool that, and they know this, money, and the thing is that money has never been a tool that anybody can use to control me. Even when I was working, even when my targeting first began, with the threat of losing my job, if I continue to talk, I still did what I did, even after I lost my job. The threat of also, taking my disability money, which they tried to do in the beginning. And, it took me a month to get the rest of it, but eventually I did. That's because I exposed them. Okay? And so, this is something I did do. My financial aid, threat of not getting financial aid. They've tried that, they screwed me over for a little bit, but I eventually get the financial aid. I was able to pay for my courses. So they should know by now, right? That them who won't continue what they do is not going to stop prevent me or stop me from talking about what it is they're exposing them. But you have to understand the mindset of sociopaths and tyrannical governments and people who are, and people who are in power and want people who commit atrocities and commit experiment on people and want to, pilot, the victims. Okay? Because they will do any and everything. Right? I talk about Dutch Brazil. Right? That program sort of like what this one is. I have aspect of it, which is a COINTELPRO. It was even worse in East Germany. This is what they do. Right? And so when I read about that, and I understand how, they can go to your family member and try to get you to start talking about this stuff, right? It's the same thing they did. They've taken a page out of all these different programs from different parts of the world, from different governments, and incorporated into this program. Okay, as well as the directed energy and the illegal microchipping. Okay, but history has always shown that there are always going to be people like us who are going to speak out against these things. So, we're not doing anything new. We're just a modern day version of those people in the past who took on government systems and exposed them for what they're doing, the wrongdoing and the criminalities that they engage in. Okay? Except now, we have we use the power of the internet. Okay? We use the power of technology. That's what they use the power of technology. We also use the power of technology. Okay? So we just got to continue to do what we got to do, you know? Just making a change. You know, we got to look at it like this, like we may not see the full change of it, but eventually those in the future who find themselves in this unfortunate situation will see a huge change, right? And it will be because of our effort. You know?
Absolutely. Well said, Nigel. I definitely second what you say. I'm sure the rest of the squad that's more actively agree, man. Got to continue doing, man. Regardless of the fact of what they try to do to try to silence us, man, they're not going to do that. They're not going to be successful because we've already made that decision a long time ago, man, that we're going to continue pushing through until eventually it starts to trickle down. You and I had that conversation a while back, Nigel. I don't know if you remember, man, but, you know, you were talking about, yo, man, I'm hoping that it does go through, man. I've been into this for like 20 years doing it, and, you know, it's been steady going. There's some, like, we win some battles here and there, but the war is still ongoing. I think it's more than likely going to come a point where there's going to be a trickle-down effect. And through that trickle-down effect is where we're going to see the ripple effect take place as well. And I think we're reaching that plateau now, man.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. I mean, you know, your videos didn't play a big part of it because they're coming at you hard.
Yeah, but I also credit you guys as well because this core is made up of all of us. And all of us together, man, we make Fruit Punch, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they know that the squad is made up of genuine TIs here. We all show our targeting in our videos within our channels. We show what we go through, and it's consistent. There's patterns there that can be shown and proven, and we do that consistently. You've been doing it consistently for over 12 years on YouTube, man. And before that, I'm sure you have other archived information. You know, but that's the thing, man, that they cannot dispute or rebuttal what we've been able to put out there because there's people who are waking up, like you said, Nigel. There's people that are waking up, they're asking questions, and they're looking our way. And they're trying desperately to try to do the damage control that they can to try to throw that scent off. It's like the bloodhounds got our scent. And they're trying to find us and shit. And they're trying to deter that scent by throwing onions and garlic in the mix so that way they lose the scent. Go elsewhere, lose direction. Or misdirection, better word.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm knowing that from the start, I already knew I had a mission, man, and I made my mind up then. And you were catalyst to motivate and inspire me to do that because you know I wasn't ready in the beginning. I was like, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? I'm a private person. I don't want to put my business out there. I'm somewhat embarrassed about it. You said, embarrassed about what? You know, RT, you can't think like that. You know, you shouldn't think like that. I mean, I hear you. You have validity to have your feelings, but this is a lot bigger than you, bro. And I thought about it. I was like, yo, man, he's right. And you said, not now. Well, when you're ready, RT, not now. You don't have to do it now. But when you're ready, you should consider it, man. Because we can't do this alone. It's going to take a concerted effort. And I believe the concerted effort is already in place. And people are beginning to ask the questions about who is behind this shit. Why are all these people going through this in different states and in countries, internationally, man? You got an international cult going on here, targeting people that they claim are either a threat to them, to society in some manner. They don't like them, they envy them, or all the above, man. No, it doesn't necessarily just take that. It could just be you've been at the wrong place in the wrong time and they chose you because of that. It could have been because you're black, because you're Spanish, because you're white even. And maybe because you're white and you like black music, that's why they don't like you. And then they put you in this book. It could be anything, man. I'm using random shit to say that that's how random the shit could be. There is no set reason or reasons for you to be targeted. We already know that the U.S. has a heavy-duty history of human experimentation going back Come on, Nigel, man. Let them know, man. How long this shit go back to with the U.S. being involved in human experimentation, bro?
Exactly, centuries.
You know what I mean? So it's like, we already know that this is not something new. And we are continuing to get, because as I'm speaking to you, I'm still getting educated behind certain things, man. We don't know, we don't claim to know it all, or even come out and say, oh, you know, we're the TIs that you need to listen to because we're the, nah. We let our information speak for itself. Like the thing about Elijah Muhammad showing the analogy of the clear water, the clear glass of water, and he dumped ink in it purposely. He presented it to Malcolm. He said, water, foul. Then he said, if you offer this to the people, they'll have no choice but to drink it if they're thirsty. Then he proceeded to pour another glass of water. This water was clear. He said, but if you offer them this water, you let them make their own decision. And that's where we're at, man. That's what we do here. You know, we ain't trying to obligate nobody or tell anybody what to do or how to do it. We present facts. We present our experiences in real time, captured and encapsulated within our videos to show later what exactly it is that went down. Some of us narrated vocally through audio. Some of us do it through the description box, like myself. And, you know, other people just go about explaining it in their own way, however they choose to go about it. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, we're still getting our stories out there. People are listening, and they're looking this way. That was the whole point in the first place of doing something like that, creating our channels and shit like that. Yeah, and here we are as a squad, standing strong and firm, about almost a year into it, because we started this call with the squad about close to a year, not quite yet, but close to a year now. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And we've gotten progressively better information, better, you know, topics, discussions. Yo, I've gotten emails going back maybe a month or something like that. They said, yo, you guys are consistently bringing, you know, good information into, you know, where do you guys find this information? I don't always answer the question according to how, oh, well, you know, Nigel and Nigel. What I say is we got a dedicated squad that makes sure that we look for facts before we come out and state anything on this call that isn't true. If I put something in the description box, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a fact. But you're going to do the research, not me. Don't take my word. You click the link and you research it for yourself, and you'll see. That's how we get down here, and that's how we're going to continue moving forward. Mm-hmm.
All right, check this out. I want to read a FCC filing, all right? And this is on, this is hold on. You guys can hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Okay, so this is, this is going to be brief. This is from September of 2016, right? So it says, very useful for mass mind control in times of emergency. Aubrey found that by using 0.75 milliwatt centimeter square intensity of pulse modulated microwave at a frequency as 450 hertz, it would discover that an ELF modulation could be used to control all aspects of human behavior. Right? Think about that shit.
That explains a lot right there. Just that alone, what you just dropped. That was the FCC that stated that?
That's on the FCC 1 and the FCC 5.
Do me a solid, man. Send me that if you can.
Yeah.
Put that up in the description box after the call when it's You see that right there, man? not only solidifies and proves, it shows that even they, you know, when I say they, I mean who and what is the FCC? Federal Communications Commission, correct?
Yep.
And these people are considered organizations that are affiliated on some level or another with the government. How the hell does that show that they're not aware of these technologies being used? I'm not going to say that they can come out and freely talk about it. What I'm saying is they know, they are aware about this shit. So what possessed them to print that? All of a sudden. How far does that go, man? What year was that?
That was 2016.
4 years ago. It's interesting, man, to say the least. Nice, man. Before I forget, man, Nappy had roots. Shout out to him. I'm not sure if he's still on the call. I hope he is, but in case you aren't, brother, I understand. They be fucking with his phone like crazy. But Nappy, man, earlier had mentioned on the call and also on his channel, he uploaded a video specifically talking about that this was an important message. Some brother that he subscribed to called Rizza Islam. This brother was pretty much out there showing that, well, he was talking about, not showing, pardon me, wrong word. He was talking about how they plan on using the police and pretty much deputizing the neighborhood watch, Snitch Patrol motherfuckers, to point out where they're hearing people coughing, sneezing, you know, shit like that, a little too much. So in other words, now they can come into your home and pretty much force a test kit with the whole COVID-19 thing, with the test swabs, you know, the cotton swab things up your nose and all that. And if you are found to have it, they can obviously take you and quarantine you and all this other shit. Well, what he was going with that, obviously, that you already, if you have the knowledge base, and I know you do, in regards to how that shit works with the whole New World Order, martial law shit coming into play, they are going to use that and they're going to weaponize it and they're going to have people snitching on everyone. Oh, yo, this person over here, he's coughing, he's sneezing too much. I think you guys need to come over here and check him out. I think he got the fucking COVID-19 or whatever. So it's like Man of Thunder said earlier that they're going to go back to the Eastern Stasi days when people were snitching on everybody who they thought were doing something that was against, you know, at the time being, the powers that be's control. In other words, if you went against the grain in any way, talking negative about them, you know, spreading what they call quote-unquote propaganda about, talk about the Eastern Stasi, Germans, they would have you, you know, arrested or taken out or whatever the case was. You know what I'm saying? So this is what they're doing now with that shit. And this brother Rizza Islam, I'm going to make sure I put that video within the description box of this live stream call at the end so people can check it out too. And it's on Nappy's channel also. So you guys got like 2 avenues to go to check this video out. I definitely suggest to subscribe to this brother because from what I got to hear, I only heard bits and pieces of it. I didn't hear the entire video. I didn't have time at that moment. But from what I heard, man, shit, mind blowing, man. The times that we're in, this is serious, man. Like a fucking, like a movie coming into existence that we were pre-programmed to see and now live out. It is bugged out, man. To say the least.
Like we did the research on this type of shit. You know, we knew something big was coming. We kind of know roughly what the script is. We're going to use something to try and bring in a totalitarian type government. A dystopian 1984 type. Just going to use. We didn't know how they were going to use it, but we knew something was going to be done. Now it seems like they use the pandemic to gradually try to take away people's privacy. You know, seeing all the coronavirus tracking apps in the UK, all these apps that are being developed for smartphones where track you using. Like Nigel was saying, I think due to this lockdown, a lot of people becoming aware something's not right. They're like, why are we locked down? You know, why is the government doing this? A lot of people researching. So, a lot of different theories to what the mainstream media are saying. That's all positive. Well, it's a big positive in the sense people, you know, are maybe doing their own research and trying to connect the dots with information and not trusting the narrative of what's going on.
No doubt. That was well said, mate.
Okay, check this out. This is a declassified document, right? Straight from the CIA. This is the CIA website. So anybody has any doubt on this, I'm going to give RT the link, and we'll post this in the description, and you guys can go and check it out for yourself. Okay? Okay, so this is declassified and approved for release, 2012. Right? CIA, and you got a long list of numbers going on here. It says Soviet study microwave weapons, right? So you remember what happened with the diplomats and stuff like that in China and Cuba, and the CIA saying no such weapons exist and all this stuff, right? You know, listen, we as CIA, we knew that they were lying. They were listed that it was crickets, right? And I'm going to go back to that article that they said that it was crickets, right? So again, this was in it says newly declassified U.S. Defense Agency, U.S. Defense Intelligence Agency report says that Soviet research into mind control may lead to methods of disoriented human behavior, psychological disorders, and even heart attacks, right? It says Soviet scientists are fully, remember this is the CIA website now, you can go to, right? It says Soviet scientists are fully aware of the biological weapons of low-level microwave radiation, which might have some of it is not, some of it you can't see all of it in a second. Some of it is color. Okay, so some words I'm gonna try to fill in here. So I said which might have I don't know if it's aggressive weapons application. Says report based on an analysis of agents conducted of experiments conducted in the Soviet Union and Eastern Europe. According to the study, this research work suggests the potential and the development of a number of personal applications. Microwave beams on the I can't pronounce that. Anyway, of radar and are widely used relaying long-distance telephones, other common source of microwave intelligence, such and such. Okay, up till now, the view most widely accepted among State Department officials in Washington has been that the Soviets appear to be using the microwave beams to foil sophisticated U.S. electronic intelligence gathering equipment at the embassy. The State Department issued an administrative notice on November 12th, declared Moscow an unhealthy post. Okay, an unhealthy post. But no links was officially drawn between this move and the radiation situation. The department spokesman says that medical tests have found no adverse health effect attributed to the microwave. The Soviets have denied beaming any radiation at the embassy, contending that the microwave are simply part of a normal background radiation found in any major city. The Pentagon agency report distributed within the government last March said that one biological effect which could offer anti-personnel use in the phenomenon known as microwave hearing. So what is microwave hearing? Remember how they talk about, that was crickets when the diplomats were saying that they were hearing sounds and stuff like that? No, that's not sound. This is I mean, it's sound, but it's not natural sound. This is voices, or not to say voices as per somebody else's voice, but in terms of internal voice, your own voice, okay? Speaking to you, right? And they call that microwave hearing. Sounds and even possible, even words which appear to be originated intracranially within the head can be induced by signal modulation at very low average power densities. The study said it added that combinations of frequency and other signal characteristics produce other neurological effects may be feasible in several years. The report concluded that Soviet research in this area has great potential for development into a system of disorientated or disrupting the behavioral patterns of military or diplomatic personnel. Okay? Now, we're talking about stuff that happened in the 70s, right? Towards the mid-70s, in 1974, all the way to 1978. Okay? And even in the 80s and 90s too, right? But you never hear about this shit. So when the shit hit, when the diplomats in Cuba and China started to experience the same thing, they try to cover it up, right? But again, that's to tell you that you cannot trust this government. You cannot trust the people in this government because they're liars, and they lie so bad, right? Because when you even go onto their own CIA website to view these documents on the subject, they're there. They are there in plain sight. Okay? So it can be used equally as well as an interrogation tool. The report said that along with microwave hearing, the Soviets had also studied various changes in body chemistry and functioning of the brain resulting from exposure to microwave and other frequencies of electromagnetic radiation. The psychological effects, right, and the physiological effects, which, and it's kind of like fade out this, I can't even in here. It says it is said that have been accomplished. It said that this has been accomplished experimentally in frogs by synchronizing the pulse of a millimeter wave with a microwave signal to the animal's heartbeat and beaming the radiation into the chest area. Wow. You see? It's like you're beaming radiation into somebody's chest, right? Possibly even stopping their heartbeat. Synchronization, the pulse with the pulse of your heart, with the heartbeat, right? The documents added that a frequency probably could be found which could provide sufficient penetration of the chest wall to humans to accomplish the same effect, heart attacks. Okay? The report said that another potential anti-personnel use for microwave could be based on the effect on the blood-brain barrier, which regulates the exchange of vital substance between brain cells and circulatory system. As a result of this, it says, an individual could develop severe neuropathological nerve disorder, which is what I suffer from, okay, symptoms, and either die or become seriously impaired neurologically. Okay, this is how it happened to me, right? The fact that I have damage to the white brain matter in my brain, that is a result. They say that the only how this would happen is that if for people who have multiple concussions, like, people playing sports, getting hit in the head, with such a force that they black out, right? And I have medical records to prove it. Okay? Let's go on. All right, so report out of East of Europe, communist countries indicate that a number of female industrial workers may have suffered aborted pregnancies as a result of exposure to microwave, the study said. So now there's new one, right? They can use microwave frequencies to basically cause abortion within females. Okay? Several U.S. Foreign Services officers who previously had served in Moscow said they felt the DIA study was significant because it marks the first time any government agency had acknowledged that Soviet use of microwave as an anti-personnel weapon is a realistic possibility. The report entitled Biological Effect of Electromagnetic Radiation, Radio Wave and Microwaves, Euro-Asian Communist Countries, was prepared by the Army Medical Intelligence and Information Agency and approved for distribution by DIA. Okay? This is from the CIA own website, people. You go to CIA.gov, you can find the shit. Okay? So anybody's telling you as a TI that these things don't exist or what have you, you know, I don't want to be rude, I don't want to curse, but tell them F you. Tell them that they don't know shit. Okay? And they need to become educated. Because I hate it when, you know, we prevent people with facts, which I just did, but then they still act stupid. Okay? And when they do that, then, you know, your suspicion radar should go up all the way. Right? Because, again, I just posted the link to that. Now, there was another document, if I can find it. Hear the sirens?
I just got it. You already know.
You already know, nice. You hear the sirens? It was like, whoop, whoop.
Yep.
Yep.
In real time,
too. Tell you, man, they think, you know, that they're slick, but, you know, hey, they're not going to get away with this shit. And we're not going to allow them to get away with it. Okay?
After the
Yep. Let's see. There was another article also. It was a sort of different, but Soviet capabilities. Okay, I'm going to send you this link too, RT. It's a radio wave study for arms potential.
Okay.
Radio wave studies for arms potential. It talks about potential. Can the human mind be short-circuited or even destroyed by extremely low-frequency radio waves? Okay? Wow. Mm-hmm. Okay, so check this out. It says, right, I'm a continuation of this. It says, about the possible effect of extreme low-frequency transmission, reputable scientists said they could be developed into another grisly weapon of mass destruction. It says the Navy is installing more than 50 miles of underground antennas, right, in Wisconsin. So that, remember, used to have this shit above ground, now they got that shit underground. But you didn't know about that one.
Yeah,
okay.
Like travels around.
Yep.
They use it.
Okay, so I'm going to send you the link to this. I'm not going to get into the articles and stuff like that because it's going to be a lot of reading. And I got to go. But
I still haven't gotten it,
Nigel. Wait. You get the first one I sent you?
Yeah. That one I did.
That one I did, not the other one, though. Okay, I'm going to send you this one, too. Right now. All right, you should get that. You get that?
Just got it.
Got it right now. All right, cool. Okay, is this the other, there was another, yeah, so this is what the CIA says, right? Okay, so this is what the CIA says what happened to the diplomats. So the CIA is saying that it's crickets, right? Okay, so this is from MSNBC, and I'm sorry, the Intercept, okay, and let me join the newsletter. Okay. And I gotta. Now they're making it hard for me to get into this damn website.
Yeah, they be doing that shit sometimes. They did that shit tonight earlier.
You know what it is? Like, I at least have any files getting onto the intercept, and now I'm having difficulty getting on.
You already know what time it is, man. Part of what they do. Gotta have patience. That's all. That's what you always said to me, Nigel, man. And you're right. You gotta stay steady, guys.
Yeah. Let me just read the headline that says that. So they're saying that the culprits that caused the brain injury in U.S. diplomats were likely cricket. Okay. Now, who in their right mind would believe that shit?
Hold on a second. You said what?
You said that they were crooked? Crickets.
Oh,
that's what the CIA. Yeah, that's what the CIA was trying to blame on what happened to the diplomats.
But wasn't it a cricket sound that they heard?
They heard a cricket sound, but that's not what it is, because
right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, it could be in the middle of the night where they just associate.
Right. To camouflage
what they're acoustic weapons and all that. Okay, so
hold on.
Now, was it acoustical microwave weapons, or was it like vibrational weapons? What was it that they were stating that it was?
That came out
on the paper. They just said the crickets, bro.
That's all they said.
It was crickets. Yep.
Motherfuckers, man.
They did not expound on it, anything like that. They just said it was crickets.
Right.
Yeah.
Figures
they would do that.
Very nice,
man. All right. So yeah, bro. So anyway, guys, listen, I gotta head out. I gotta go. But you got the information on me, so good talking to you guys again. And looking forward to next week.
Likewise, bro. Always a pleasure, Nigel. You already know, man. You know what I'm saying? We always look forward to your insights, your input, your information, man. Shit is top of the line, like always, man.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're gonna be taking the test again tonight, man. But if you are, good luck with that. Don't give up, brother. I know that they hitting you hard, man, with the technology. They're causing all types of, ridiculous rambunctious at home with your children, with your, children's moms, playing games, microwaving them. I mean, I don't know, man. I can't sit here and tell you, don't let it affect you, because, I mean, you deal with it on an everyday basis, and that's something you've been going through for many, many, many years. And you're still here, though. You know what I'm saying? You're still here. You're still ticking. You know what I'm saying? So that speaks for itself. Good luck with the test if you're going to take it tonight, man. And if anything, we'll reconnect tomorrow, Wednesday, and Friday, man. You already know the time frame. I'll hit you up before then to let you know I'm going to be doing that call. And you can call if you can and if you're available, brother.
All right, okay. That's cool, man. All right? Have a good night.
You too, Nigel. Peace. Yo, Nate, man, you still on the call, right?
Yeah, I'm here.
You sound mad far, bro. You on the speaker?
Yeah, it's on speaker, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'll take it back off.
Yeah, because your voice sounds mad far. I can barely understand some of what you're saying.
Yeah, it's off speaker now.
There you go. Now you sound a lot crispy.
Yeah, I was just chilling listening to Nigel and what he was speaking about.
Yeah, no doubt, man. No doubt. He'll take you, man, I understand. Like, I totally understand. Nigel will take you on a mental vacation, and he'll educate you at the same time, bro. It's like, Nigel's ill, man. Nigel's an ill brother, man. Very knowledgeable. But, Nappy, you still on there, man? I don't know if you can hear us, man, or we can't hear you. But sometimes, man, these motherfuckers, man, they be fucking with Nappy's phone hardcore, bro. They be making Nappy's phone call other people. Oh, hold on. He just texted me. Hold on a second, man.
He used to do that to me, actually, as well. I used to have that happen.
Yeah, hold on, man. He just texted me. So obviously he can hear us. Hold on. I'm here. They won't let me speak. Motherfucker, you see? So I basically pretty much, that's what it was. He can hear us, but we can't hear him, you know. And they do that, bro. They fuck with his phone. Yo, Nappy, don't worry, brother. You're there, man. I see you on the display. That's why I figured let me holler at you. If you had anything you want to say. Yo, if you want, you could try to hang up and call back in and see if that fixes it. If you want to, man, you're more than welcome to. I don't know if you have anything you want to say or add or whatever the case may be, man, but you're free to do so. I want to take this opportunity in case no one knew about this, man. You know, there's been a guy that was on YouTube for a minute. Okay? And
he had a chance.
I believe he's originally from New York. And
I think he was out in state Washington for a while before he had come back over here to the East Coast from the West Coast. I think he was in North Carolina last time that I recall. And I think his name, he went under Wayne Daniels. YouTube terminated his channel, yo. And that's a sad, very unfortunate situation right there, because that brother right there was dropping science. And, he was dropping truth, his truth. And he was breaking shit down, and he held nothing back. And as y'all can clearly see, when you have no hairs on your tongue and you express yourself the way he did or does, I'm not going to say did, because he still carries himself the same way, I'm sure. The powers that be don't like that shit. And these motherfuckers, these bitch-ass niggas, these snitch patrol motherfuckers, neighborhood watch, night crawlers and shit, they don't like that, man. So they're afraid of that. They view us as a threat. You know what I'm saying? So they want to try to control us in some way. But we're uncontrollable. You know what I'm saying? We are uncontrollable. You know what I'm saying? And that's why they have to come at us with so many people and so many psychological operations, including mind control technologies and directed energy. And they still can't control us. So they go and they try to go below the belt, which is using their powers that they have from YouTube, the pub networks within there, and they pull this channel. And that's something that I want to address in regards to when you expose too much truth, eventually they do that to you. There was a sister on here, I believe she was of Puerto Rican descent, and she was from Long Island, New York. I think she went by gang stalking in Long Island. That female was, she was raw. You know what I'm saying? I've seen her, and I've seen and heard her in her videos sun these fucking night crawlers, man. I'm talking about sunning them like sons, like little kids. You know what I'm saying? I've seen and heard her check ex-mafia motherfuckers, bro, and put them on blast later on YouTube, on her channel. I've seen her son cops and all that. So you see, when you have that demeanor, when you have that type of way, and it's natural, it's not forced, it's just the way you are. You have that aggressive nature when you need it or what have you. They feel that, man, because they don't know how or why or when or, if they can have that. They don't know. They don't have that in them. You know what I'm saying? You either born with it or you don't have it. You can't be taught that. You know what I'm saying? So those people, for the most part, they feel that, and they also envy us at the same time. Another thing is they use whatever they can against us to try to silence us and take away our voice. Because our voices are what are putting out the facts. And if we have a platform to do that in, and not just the platform within itself, but eventually a following to that platform, because that's the important part. Then you have people listening, and you have people supporting you, you know what I'm saying, and believing in what you're doing. That's what they can't have, because then it goes against their whole objective, which is total world domination. You know what I'm saying? And we, as empowered individuals / targeted individuals, are the mold for that. They used us as the guinea pigs for that. That's why they test all their shit on us, because we are some strong, headstrong, you know what I mean, fucking stubborn ass motherfuckers, man. So they figured, well, if it'll work on them, then it'll work on the mass public. You see what I mean? That's how they do certain experiments and shit on that note, using us as test subjects. They use it to modify their technology and all that shit, man. At some point, we graduate from level to level to level. We don't even know it or realize it till, later on, we start noticing certain things. And then we come together and we talk, and that's why it's important for us to talk and share information and share experiences, because then we start to collect evidence and realize patterns and certain information that we may not have known if it wasn't for us getting together and speaking on this shit. So going back to the whole thing about YouTube shutting down Real T.I.'s channels, that goes to show you, man, that at any given point, we could be sniped out. We, meaning any member of the squad within the YouTube network, and even other YouTubers that are TIs, that are few and far between. You already know what time it is when I say that.
They just got rid of Mad Truth on the Run as well. He got his channel took down.
Yeah, you told me about that. You know who put me up on him? Nappy. Nappy had roots. Shout out to you, bro. I don't know if you're still on the call. You put me up on that brother, man. Mag, M-A-G, of Truth. They took his channel down. So if they took Mag, of Truth's channels down, and Wayne Daniel down, and gang stalking in Long Island, and Alda Misteriosa, one from California, who was Nigel's female T.I. best friend for years, they took all these real T.I. channels down.
Alda,
yeah, I said her. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's all right. You know what I'm saying? So, you got to look at that, man, for what it is and the direction that YouTube is heading. Diana, I spoke to her. I didn't speak to her. I communicated with her via comments on my channel and shit, because they be stopping us from communicating also. I tried to reach out to her a few times. She tried to reach out to me, and we couldn't, we kept missing each other. And it's not us, it's them. They're redirecting calls, they're redirecting emails, they're redirecting texts, they're even deleting them at times. But, I explained to her the situation, and she's been in a situation with me when she looked and realized for herself that they do shit like that. When she was on the phone with me, and I said, you see what I'm saying? She goes, yeah, wow. Damn, I can't believe they do this shit. I was like, yeah, they do more than that. But anyway, going back to the point where I brought that up, Diana was talking about, RT, what she said, she said, you should think about possibly creating another channel on this one particular site, and I forgot the name of the website, but it's within the comment, because I approved it in the comment section where she said it. And she said, you should think about creating a channel on this particular website, because they won't delete the channel. And I was like, okay. And I explained to her with my response, knowing how the YouTube situation has been going lately, or recently, or whatever, I'm saying? I'm paraphrasing what I said, because I don't remember word for word what I said, but something to that effect. I'm like, I might consider doing that in the serious, like in the near future, because it's getting that bad. At least as a backup. She told me at least as a backup channel, and I believe she's 100% correct. We're all going to need to do that. We were talking about this months ago. You know what I mean? Remember when we were talking about it?
Yeah, last year was 2019. Remember?
Shit is getting real, man.
Everything. All the
What?
internet. They want control of the internet like they have control of the TV. What they want. Not going to have this. That's all. The internet, even if they take control of YouTube, we'll find a way. People are getting sick of this shit. Not just TIs, but they've been trying to censor other people on YouTube too that aren't TIs, and we're getting sick of this shit. So do that, then we're just gonna lose a good portion of.
Yep.
To remember that they don't have the power. We give them the power, because without us, they have nothing. Without us, you this work. They don't have any content. YouTube is just a platform. So, without us, YouTube is nothing. You have to let them know.
1,000,000% right about that, Nate. I agree 1,000,000%, man. You know, it's crazy, man, because I'm just looking at the fact that they're just sniping out real TI channels left and right like that, and people aren't realizing, man. I haven't heard no one bring that up, man, about gang stalking in Long Island. You know what I mean? Or Wayne Daniels. You know what I'm saying? I didn't hear what you said, man.
I wasn't personally aware of it, so it's possible not well known TIs, because they have a way of, like, I don't know, keeping TIs apart by not, because I hadn't even heard about one you put me up on, or was it Nappy put you up on, tell me about. I hadn't come across her channel. I guess they have a way of kind of trying to keep us separate and stop us finding each other.
Right. Yeah, you talking about Awakened World.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, shout out to her, wherever she is, man. God bless her. She's a very sweet person. She's a TI out there in the UK. Have you tried to reach out to her, man? Or,
yeah, I dropped a comment on one of the videos, but I didn't get a response. I'll drop
okay.
someone.
Yeah, she probably didn't get it, or they did. You know how they are, man. You know what they do. They don't like.
Yeah, man. It's like the email sent me tonight. I didn't get it. So basically, intercepting.
You already know, man. You already know what time it is, man. I ain't even gotta explain anything, man. You know what I mean? It's crazy, man. But yeah, man. So that's something I wanted to put out here on the call for our Lord, you know, our viewers, man, and our listeners, man, to know that they're sniping channels out left and right, you know, and the reason being is because these EI/TIs are exposing too much truth. And the last time I checked, man, I believe we all have freedom of speech, you know what I'm saying? And that's something, whether you agree with what somebody says or not. Even the stuff that I don't agree with, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's say, for example, the dude from Australia that did the whole, you know, bit about me and shit, being a paranoid lunatic or whatever the hell. Even though I don't agree with what he's saying, obviously, because it's bullshit or whatever, he has a right to express himself, man. And just like anyone else, man. Ain't nobody got a right to take away the ability to censor them from saying what they want to say. So how are they going to come out and try to snipe channels out based upon what people are saying? Even though if you look into what these TIs have been saying in their channels about historic shit, it's real shit. It's factual shit. Bible stuff that they were, you know, saying or quoting or what have you. It's real shit, man. So why is it that they're going to start hating on these people just because of that? You know what I mean? Hate speech. They start labeling, oh, you're using too much hate speech and shit. Ain't no fucking hate speech, man. It's real fucking facts, man, that if you were to take the time to look into it yourself, you would see that that's all he was stating, something that he believed in, something that is true. You know, for example, somewhere in the Bible, and I'm not sure where, it showed that Jesus was born in the region where his hair was like wool and the feet the color of brass. Now, what is the closest ethnicity that comes to match that description? You see what I'm saying? A black person, whether it's a lighter shade or a middle shade, it doesn't matter. The point being is still a black person. So I'm using that for lack of a better example to show and prove that if you would do your research, and I'm talking to people who don't know what time it is with that, or people who try to say, oh no, you know, it's a white Jesus, whatever the fuck, you know, I grew up believing that. Why? Because my mother put that on the wall. So that's what I was born to think, you know, Jesus looked like. But you know, when you get older, you get educated, you
You read, you research, and you find out that shit is not true. But do I have a right to change my mother's mind and force her to not? But you don't know, right? So it's like you got to look at it for what it is. Everybody has their choice of what they want to believe in and when they want to look at shit. Whether it's truth to you, it's truth to them, what they believe. So let them have their belief there. But you don't have, and no one for that matter, no one, including me and anyone else on the squad and listening to this call in this world, has the right to try to drill or convert anyone's beliefs or anyone's inalienable right to have their opinion and their beliefs on what. Period. As simple as that. You know what I mean? So,
Quote Neil.
Yeah.
Neil said on one of calls years ago, Nigel, said you can have any opinion as long as it doesn't affect me. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
If you try and force it on me, then you can have your opinion. You know what I mean? And that's a good quote there.
I agree with that, man. Shout out to Neil Nicholson, man. Nigel's twin brother, wherever you at, brother. You're very well missed on the squad, and like I said to you via text, I'll say it and state it on this call. You know, there are no bridges burnt. The bridge is still wide open, and you can cross over to us whenever you're ready and when you want to. You know what I'm saying? You still got a seat within the squad, and the door's open, brother. It's not closed. And the bridge is still there where you can cross over whenever you want, if and when you're ready. Shout out to Neil. But that was definitely something that Neil always had something, man, to drop on your noodle. You know what I'm saying? Like, true, man. It's very true. You know? But, and like that.
About TIs. All your TIs, they all seem intelligent. All have kind of flavors, all different things. All have their own energy. You know what I mean? And our own personality. Same. All this kind of shit. Yeah.
No doubt. No doubt, man. The thing is, you know, we're here for the long haul. You know what I'm saying? We're here to go to the bitter end with this. We're not just here to create a sensational show or to try to, you know, cast a publicity stunt to gain more viewers or anything like that. Man. We're here to expose this program, to educate, and to hopefully acquire more listeners that would get in time inspired and motivated to either help the cause or create their own channels if they happen to be target individuals themselves, and somehow inadvertently or even directly get motivated and inspired to do so, like I did, by Nigel Nicholson, by Nappy Roots. You know what I'm saying? It's something that it comes from a place that's sincere and that, you know, you want change. You want something to come out of the stuff that you just discovered that you've been into since you were a child. And I'm speaking from my personal experience. When I came to the realization of this shit, I was like, damn, this is fucked up. You know what I mean? This is really fucked up. Like, you know what I mean? And I totally understood. Now, I don't agree with it, but I understood why some motherfuckers would snap and go up on rules and want to kill everybody. Again, I don't agree with that, and I don't condone that. I'm just saying, I understand why certain people that weren't headstrong enough and didn't have that clarity at the moment to think first and rationally, you know what I mean? And even be blessed the way we are, to be aware of this information and to take the time to figure out what was going on before we even go there, because they could have easily set me up to be a Manchurian candidate if I would have kept going and not knowing what was happening. There is no doubt in my mind. They were programming me to do that. That's where it was going and heading. But that train got derailed And now it's like a whole new chapter and a whole new book. And it's now time to get this out there and people to understand that this program has been in existence for God knows how long. And they've been using this as a form of controlling society and controlling who they want to go into power and who they don't want to go into power to keep them at a certain level in life. Keep in mind, y'all, that the Nazis never went too far. In fact, they got brought back in this motherfucker. When I say brought back into this motherfucker, I'm talking about Operation Paperclip. When they went out and to the United States, to England and Canada, and they got, you know, the best of the best neuroscientists, German engineers, psychologists and psychiatrists were obviously there too. Come on, man. They don't mention it, but you know. Come on, man. With the existence of this program, you know that that shit is a fucking definite reality. So, we're here to continue putting this truth out the way we know how, with our own signature ways, and we ain't gonna stop until we can't anymore. You know what I'm saying? And even so, we'll hopefully pass the torch on to others that are willing to go as far and as deep and as real as it takes to get this truth out there. You know what I mean? Because that's what it's about. You know, we can't just stay silent and allow this shit to go on. You know? Still night, they're messing with your voice. So if you could speak a little bit like louder, I think I could hear you better and it'll probably come out better.
Yeah, I was saying, because that's what they want. They want us to be silent about this. Like, you know, we're giving them the go-ahead to do this if we're not silent. Sorry, if we are silent about this. Or expose this.
Absolutely. No doubt about that, man.
Any outside forces that discredit it.
Right. Yo, man, so with all that being said, I'm going to shut the call down now, man. It's been like close to 3 hours and change, I think. It's about to be 10 p.m. my time, which I believe is going to be what? Like close to 2 or 3 in the morning your time, mate?
I ain't got a clock.
All right. I don't know if you can hang out a little longer. If you can, hang in there. I'm not going to hang up. Or if you want to hang up and go to sleep, I understand. It's up to you, man. I'm going to shut the call down now. And I'm just going to run the intro right quick, and then I'll be right back. I don't know if you want to do that.
You mean to be private?
Yeah.
Alright, yeah, it can be.
All right, then. So I'm going to just... You got anything else you want to add on, Nate, man, before I shut it down?
One last thing, and that this is about how they were genociders. I found out the other day, I need to mention, I just remembered that apparently Bill Gates is, well, not his, but the vaccine funding. Apparently, how it works is it does something to your DNA. You know how we were speaking about how vaccine can basically, where I'd heard, basically manipulate your DNA. Research how his vaccine works. Basically something to do with messing with DNA.
What?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. You got an article that shows that shit? Like you found one that...
I remember watching a video recently where showing Bill Gates. I find it because it was actually Bill Gates speaking about it. And he was talking about how vaccines work. How the new vaccine they're bringing in basically does something with the DNA that makes DNA adapt to the virus. You know, messing with the DNA is going to... You know how they can adapt it, right? They can make it move certain traits, you know, that are undesirable
Right.
No,
Right.
they're going to code it to basically change the human DNA to what they want. So if they work out the genome that makes people more independent and free thinking, or whatever, then they can basically genetically engineer, basically, through a vaccine.
Damn, yo, that's insane. Yo, do me a solid, man. If you can, look for that, man, and send it. No doubt. Yo, before I forget, man, make sure you send me the links to those articles you read tonight. Not right now, because I know if you do, you would have to hang up and then do it. So don't do it now, because we're going to speak on it. But I'm just saying, like, try not to forget, man, because I need those to post them in the description box after I upload the call.
Alright, we'll do. I've got them full marks.
Alright, bet. So with all that being said, man, this was definitely one of the best calls we've done in a while. I thank Nigel Nicholson, Night of Thunder, Nappy Head Boots for being in the house for this, man. This was definitely a good one. And we're going to be back next weekend with another one. Look out for Nigel Nicholson's historical lessons, like the real, true history. You know what I mean? He has his own series that we're in the process of creating. And it's going to be something to definitely look at as edutainment for real. So I recommend that you guys stay tuned for that. Whenever I come out, it's going to be pre-recorded calls, no live streams. So just keep that in mind when I do the new Nigel True History Lessons series. It's going to be pre-recorded. So look out for that, y'all. And with all that being said, I hope everyone had a decent weekend. And for those who are still close to their mothers, happy Mother's Day. And to non-TIs, who are mothers, happy Mother's Day to y'all. Whatever listeners are listening, if you happen to be a mother, happy Mother's Day to you. And of course, last but not least, my own mom, I love you, Mom. Happy Mother's Day. I told her that in Spanish earlier. I gave her some flowers. We ate together, you know what I'm saying? So that's already done, said and done, but I just have to put that on the record. And we'll close the call with that. And with that all being said, keep in mind, y'all, man, that this is something that we have to continue doing, and we have to stay diligent. We have to, because we're making headway, as you can clearly see it here. If you got people creating channels to attack you, I remember when Night of Thunder said that they did that to Nappy, because y'all know already Nappy has reached a level where he's like well known, so they got to do that to do damage control. So keep that in mind, man. When that shit happens, it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. That means that you're on the right path. And with that being said, this is RTTI in New York City. Signing out.